This is essentially a series that is designed to be a little more slow-paced than Doom Link's Live Hunts. Doom Link's Live Hunts is essentially a live version of Doom Link's Random Hunts, whereas in the case of... I just considered that maybe the VOD would start in the middle of this explanation on YouTube. It's possible, because YouTube takes a while to start auto-archiving, but yeah, Doom Link's Live Hunts is just doing whatever hunt other people are doing with the goal of doing something different each time. Whereas in the case of Hunting with Purpose, it doesn't matter if we have to do the same quest repeatedly, because what we're ultimately doing is trying to get something, whether it be an armor piece, or a weapon, or, you know, even farming for decorations. The point is that there is a specific goal in mind, outside of just doing random quests for the enjoyment of it. And usually there is a specific person who's going to benefit from that. Sometimes it's me. That's really where the series began. It was supposed to be me playing... Well, it wasn't really supposed to be anything, it's just what it happened to be when I started it, was I was playing Generations Ultimate and was working on my character. And that was essentially what the Hunting with Purpose series was. Then after that, whenever I was playing with Ethan or with those guys, they generally had things that they wanted to hunt for something specific, so I would record those hunts that I did in a group in this series as well. Now, today I'm going to be playing with Vernon, who recently picked up this game again, and he is going through... well, he's in G rank now, and he has a lot of things to do in this game. And because I'll be helping him with whatever he wants to get, this is going to be part of the Hunting with Purpose series, so I do hope you enjoy. I'm doing well, Vernon. My day has been well. Well, haven't really. I've only been awake for about an hour, to be honest. But, so therefore I don't have much of a day to speak of currently. I will also mention that I have chosen to do something different with the YouTube VODs. These, well, not the VODs, but rather the streams themselves. They are being done purely through Restream, so that you actually get a screen grab of whatever is happening in the live stream at the time you see it load on the page, which is what YouTube used to do, but then they sort of locked me into having custom thumbnails. I've decided to actually go with Restream on that side, so that I don't have to be forced to use custom thumbnails. So that's what's going on here. I've got no idea if that will in any way affect the way the stream will be delivered to viewers on my channel. It's already not looking great because 2 minutes in and no one's watching yet, but you know, in other words, maybe notifications won't be as consistent that way. But I'm not sure. I really don't know. I'm just checking to see what's happening with my chroma key. It's actually alright. I mean, it's so freaking dark outside. It's, well, not dark, it's just... there's almost no natural light at all. But it's actually not too bad. But, yeah. Just want to make sure that Twitch is fine. It seems that for some reason it wants to tell me that Twitch is unstable, but it never is. It's never actually unstable, it just wants to tell me that it is. It's really confusing. You know, if you ever wanted to actually know how the stream was going, it's not that fucking easy. Anyway. Really? So you actually got the notification from YouTube before you got the one from Twitch, which is interesting. Well, I'm glad that notifications are going out anyway. That's important. I just wasn't too sure if notifications would be working properly if I went through Restream. The last time I did it, it was actually an accident. And it's kind of weird. There are, like for example, if I go through Restream, it's really silly, but when I stop going live, it doesn't stop going live. For a long time. Like for an hour. It'll still be live, but it'll just, every time you click on it, it will just skip to the last 3 seconds of the live stream, and then it'll just be stuck on loading, but it would still display as being live. So that was a bit of a mess. So basically what I have to do is just manually unlist the video, and then let it finally archive, and then it'll eventually work. It's just a bit of a different setup. At the end of the day, the result is better because I don't have to have a fucking custom thumbnail, because, I mean, you guys are probably wondering why I have custom thumbnails. I didn't choose to, I can assure you. I really didn't choose to, but YouTube has this ridiculous system where if you do even once select a custom thumbnail, you are forced to forever create a custom thumbnail. And there's a long story behind that, because it wasn't even on my main Doomlink channel when I did that. It was actually on a sub-channel that somehow bled into my main channel as far as that's concerned. Anyway, it doesn't matter too much. So what are you doing? Vernon, you've got a room? You've got a help room. And it seems like no one wants to help you, which is kind of sad. Well, someone does want to help you. His name's Doomlink and he's here to hunt. For quite a while, actually. As this is the Hunting with Purpose series, this usually goes for a while. Although, to be honest, Hunting with Purpose doesn't have to be a specific length. It can be kind of short, I guess. I mean, preferably it would be long, but yeah, it's one of those things where I guess with Doomlink's live hunts I would prefer to keep it to about 2 hours in length, but Hunting with Purpose is not supposed to be as entertaining. It probably will end up being as entertaining, but there's going to be more downtime, that's the way it works. Damn. You had 3 people with you and you said someone was coming and then they all left. Well, that's very interesting because usually people are quite willing to wait these days. Well, I shouldn't say these days, that's not really what I meant to say. In this community, people are willing to wait. Because there's really not much going on. When people sit down and play this game, they're perfectly happy to take a long time to just either wait for a group or organize for a quest or things like that. They're not in a rush to hunt. Whereas, it seems in this case, they were not interested in waiting at all. That's alright, we will get someone joining in the future, without a doubt. Aha, I do remember this quest, yeah. The double Brachy. Is this in the tundra or is this in... Yes, it is in the tundra. I always thought it was strange that Brachydios would make an appearance in the tundra, but that's alright. I guess brute wyverns really don't mind for the most part. Hey Spaceman, good to see you. I will be having to keep an eye on the chroma key because at this low light level, a tiny change in the light will fuck up the chroma key, and it's almost not even visible in person. So I do have to make sure everything stays alright. It's really good at the moment, I'm really happy that it's working. It's one of those situations where it's like barely working, but it works, so you're happy with it? I'm happy with it anyway. What would I like to use? I'm definitely not going Lance against Brachydios. I try not to go Lance with any monster that's quite mobile. I guess we'll go heavy normal gun, why not? Something a bit different to what I usually do. I used to do this a lot in this game. And I do still do it in this game frequently when I do play it. It's just that I don't play this game frequently anymore. I would like to change that. And this series is part of that, you know, it's a reason to play 3 Ultimate. So I will use my normal heavy bowgun set. What's the purpose for today's stream? It is whatever Vernon wants to do. That's why it's Hunting with Purpose, it's because we're actually working towards a specific goal instead of just hunting random monsters. I probably don't need Bonehusk S for this setup. This is sort of, this is a bit of a Pierce setup. Of course, because you do have separate pouches in Tri and 3 Ultimate for Gun and Blade Master, it is necessary for me to ensure that my gunner pouch is actually in working order. Oh, you need 3 gems? Damn. Well, that's going to be fun, isn't it? Zaki doesn't like this quest, apparently. So, this is the G rank one, isn't it? Hold on. Let me check that. Yeah, this is the G rank quest. I mean, I kind of understand that Brachydios might not be a bundle of fun for your average 3 Ultimate player, because of course everyone in 3 Ultimate wants a Brachy weapon. They want slime. They've probably got a Brachy weapon for every weapon type they would want to play with, which means that they've probably hunted a bit of Brachy in their time. So they're probably not as willing to do it if all they want is to play for fun, so I kind of understand the sentiment. Alright, so let's top up our huskberries if we can. Yes, we can. And we will also get needleberries, of which I have many. But less, actually. I culled my needleberries because I was running out of space in my box. Which is fine because they're very easy to acquire anyway. Just seeing what I might want. Got my drinks, got my potions, got combo books. We're looking alright. Null berries, again, just to reiterate from the last time I was playing 3 Ultimate, I really need them. That is the one thing that I need most in this game right now. Zaki was Huntering 6? I wonder why he did leave. This seems like the kind of quest he'd want to join. Maybe he disconnected, I'm not sure. Well, that works out very well, Mikkel. It's good to see you again. Most of my viewers do take about a month or 2 off from my videos, but they will always find me again when they do decide to return, because this is a bit of a lifelong thing that I do, recording videos. I've been doing it for 12 years now. So, it's not stopping anytime soon, I can tell you that. What I will do, Vernon, if you can forgive me, well, I suppose it's not a big deal, because we might wait for a 3rd person just for a little while, and if it doesn't seem like anyone's joining, then we'll depart, but I need to check the granny to see if she's going to sell me null berries. It's not looking very good, no. She does sell them at some point. She's on rotation, of course, or rather her wares do rotate, so kind of hoping... Hey, Jenny. Kind of hoping that I can get null berries at some point soon. It's hilarious, because I pretty much have everything else that I could possibly want, as far as I'm aware, anyway. But, you know, I've got plenty of honey, I've got plenty of that sort of stuff, but null berries, of which I really do need a lot, because if I'm fighting Elatrion, I'll need them. If I'm fighting Stygian Zenogre, Deviljho, I'll need them, of course. So, it's a bit of a problem. Here we go, harpoons. You know what? While we're waiting for a 3rd person, again, we will depart if really no one's coming. But I'll talk about harpoons, because this is one of these things that is completely unique to 3rd generation, and is specific to 2 of 3 3rd gen games, that is, Tri and 3 Ultimate, because it is an underwater-only weapon. Now, there is a type of small monster that you come across. Calling it a monster is a bit ridiculous, but we call the non-large monsters small monsters in this game. In this series, I should say. But there is a small monster that you come across called fish. Now, fish is a generic term that refers to many different types of underwater fish. You've got catfish, you've got sharks, you've got mollids, you've got those sorts of things. Lots of different types of creatures that fall under the category of fish. And I believe fish actually is present in the I was about to say Hunter's List, and then I don't know what I was saying, but anyway, fish is indeed there, so you can see that it's just a generic term, and it is actually in the monster list. Now, normally when you attack a fish with your sword, once you kill it, it doesn't actually die, it swims away and disappears, which means that you can't actually carve it. The way a harpoon works is that once you've reached a certain damage threshold, and it's killable with a harpoon, you can actually do the last of its health. You can deal the last of its remaining health to kill it, and with the harpoon you will be able to actually carve it, because it will become a corpse, basically. And that's how that works. Yes, Spaceman, there are so many people who haven't played 3rd generation these days, and the reason why is because a lot of people started in 4 Ultimate. There is a huge number of people in Monster Hunter these days who are bona fide 4th gen players who reminisce about 4th gen as if it was traditional Monster Hunter. It's really kind of weird, but yeah, this is just one of those things that's worth explaining. Chameleos is being added to Rise as the first free DLC. Great. Anyway, I would just fucking love it if they just made new monsters, to be completely honest. I mean, I don't want to fight Chameleos. I fought him for 4 generations. I don't need to fight him again, but I suppose I'll be saying that every time, won't I? Chameleos is one of the most boring and just weak Elder Dragons in the series. I don't want him to return. I've fought him enough, thank you. But whatever. Can't complain forever, because, again, if I want to complain about that, I'll be complaining a lot, because they're just going to keep bringing monsters back, and they're going to feel justified in doing so, because that's actually what people want. So, there you go. Again, the reason why I don't want old monsters returning in new Monster Hunter games is because I go back and play the older games. There's less of a reason to go back and play the older games if I'm just hunting the same fucking monsters. Wouldn't you agree? It really only benefits the people who choose to play only the newest games and not look back. I don't know why you wouldn't want to go back and enjoy the older games. But a lot of people just don't play games like that, so it really only accommodates those sorts of people. And then you've also got other people who want to experience the same monster, but with a different system, you know, maybe revamped in some way, a different, I'm trying to remember what. A different engine, that's what I mean to say. Like, different animations, different model, that sort of thing. Which I kind of understand. But it's still the same fucking thing that you're looking at, and if you're in my situation where you've played all generations of Monster Hunter, for some of these monsters, you really just start to get sick of looking at them, so I would much prefer they created new monsters. And of course, the argument for that is the new monsters suck. And, I don't know what to say to you. I think the quality of the game should be dictated by the quality of the monsters that are created by Capcom for the new game. And if they end up being shit, then that's great. That reflects badly on Capcom, and they'll feel more inclined to actually make better monsters. They'll actually have to think about how to make better monsters. If you think about it, if all the new monsters suck, but they always have the old ones to fall back on, what incentive do they have to make the new ones better? You're playing Monster Hunter 2, Jenny? That's pretty cool. Do I have a spread bow build, Vernon? I do. I can show it to you. It's fairly normal, I think. I usually do all of my bows in the same way, although I can't remember exactly how I did my 3 ultimate ones. Let's give it a bit of a peek. Where might you be? So I have 2 spread sets. I'll keep them here on screen, I won't bother equipping them. My regular spread bow is spread up, stamina recovery up, critical eye +1, focus. My load up spread is critical eye 2, spread up, load up, and focus. So I think I'm using the same talisman for both. They're both dragon talismans anyway, they may not be the same. But what I have is protection +5, expert +10. So that's not going to be an easy talisman to get. I'll make it very clear that I don't have many talismans in this game. I never properly grinded for talismans here, so the fact that I have this is pure luck. It's pure luck. And this is not an easy one to get. You know, a +10 protection 5, a +10 expert, +5 protection talisman is very difficult to get in this game. You're not going to get this often. This is a very high level talisman for 3rd gen. So, there you go. If Pokemon has over 700 Pokemon, then I think Monster Hunter can make new monsters, this is true. I'm just sick of it, because you have to understand that it is the reason why they bring back old monsters in Monster Hunter is because Capcom are lazy. They want something that's going to work. If they revamp it, they're working on something that's already good, and they're fine-tuning it for the new game. Generally speaking, they're not going to ruin an old monster, and they know that if they bring back an old monster, it's going to sit well with the people who played it before, because they're familiar with it. There is definitely value in familiarity. However, there is such a thing as it being too familiar. If you're someone like me, I'm fucking sick of it. I'm fucking sick of it. But yeah. It's just fucking annoying. But yeah, you don't have to have stamina skills for your bow set, Vernon, it's really up to you. It comes down to whether you deem it worth it to, I guess, forego a possible damaging skill, like a skill that will increase your damage for the convenience of not needing to drink dash juice or mega dash juice or something like that. That's really what it comes down to, and it also comes down to what talismans you have. The game in question, you know, is it easy to get lots of damage-based skills along with stamina-based skills in a mixed set? Generations Ultimate really sucks for that, at least for Marathon Runner. but maybe stamina recovery up's not too bad in Generations Ultimate for that. I'm not sure. What I'm doing is I'm actually ensuring that I have more ammunition, because if we're going to two-man this, I might need more. I've got Flaming as an option, that's not going to be good at all, so elementally I can't really do anything. I'm just going to have to stick with normal by the looks of it, which is okay. I'm just going to bring combination materials for normal 3. I can't remember what the materials for normal 3 are, so I'm going to double check that. It's pop, fish, and huskberry. Okay, well that's not really helpful because I want to save all of my huskberries for normal 2. So let's go. Port Tansy annoys me whenever I look at it because it's not Lochlac. I do agree with you there. I like Port Tansy, but nothing compares to Lochlac. That place was home. Well and truly, that place was home to me. And it's very sad to not be there anymore. Again, having to work on my chroma key. Are you telling me that I would... Of course I would forget to eat. Of course I would. That's alright. I can live with that. What's going to be harder to live with, however, is the lack of stamina, but as long as we are drinking our hot drinks, we should be alright on that front. Fucking hell. Anyway. It's strange, I never forget to eat, but over the last month or two, when I play Monster Hunter, I've just been forgetting to eat. I don't know what causes that. I guess I get too caught up in my monologues or something. That's probably what it comes down to. Alright, so gunning in this game is a little weird for me because the sensitivity is very, very different for aiming as compared to 4 Ultimate and Generations Ultimate. 4th Generation in general is much higher sensitivity compared to 3rd Gen with aiming your gun. I think even on the PSP with Portable 3rd, it's faster. So I just have to be... it's just a slower process, you know, you have to take a little bit more time to get on target. Usually with the sensitivity that I'm familiar with, you just snap on target, but here you really have to commit to moving your analog stick in a specific direction to get there, so... just need to adjust a little bit. I don't really like the heads-up display of 3 Ultimate, I think it's too small. But I do think overall the user interface, design-wise, is very nice. I kind of prefer Tri though. If I had to compare Tri user interface to 3 Ultimate, Tri really does win. It's more stylized, whereas this is a little more generic. Little more. Still nicely designed though. Oops. It'd be nice if I could stay on target there. The reason why, again, I'm wearing a jacket is because I don't want my arms to be phasing out of existence, but this one's a bit hotter than my other jacket, so I might have to change jackets at some point in this recording. Don't trank him, what the fuck? I was meaning to paintball. We're going to paintball the one that we're focusing on just to make it easier. We can tell now because one's enraged and the other isn't, but just for good measure, we're going to paintball the one that we're aiming for. Fortunately, the other one left, so it's not as confusing. Definitely going to need a roll here. The way slime works in this game, I don't think blast works this way. But slime, if you don't roll, you will explode. Like, you're just going to explode. You don't need to be touched by anything. You will explode on your own. Whereas in the case of blast, you can only explode if you're touched, I believe. But you also, of course, explode when you're touched. That's the point. So... I think I would say Rise's user interface is different from World. I don't think it's the same. I don't think I've seen anything that's very similar. Or at least the same. I think there are enough changes, but I agree that it could be a little better. The heads-up display at the very least is looking very nice. I love the heads-up display of Rise, like the health bar and the clock and all of that. It's one of the nice things about going back to the older games. It probably doesn't really mean anything to most people, but I love the fact that there's a different clock design in every game. And I really like the Rise clock. It's got that diamond shape and it's red and it looks really nice. They always have a different clock for every game, and that's how you know that's the easiest way to really tell what game you're looking at. That's the first thing that I check whenever I see a game. I check the clock. Of course, very sort of standard looking rustic clock system for first generation. All the first gen games had the same clock. And then in Monster Hunter 2 it was a rather over-designed clock, I would say. They've got... the framing of the clock is a bit too large. They used the same clock for Frontier as well, because Frontier was a second-gen thing. Frontier came out in 2007, which was around the time Freedom 2 came out, but its basis was 2 DOS, so it had the same heads-up display as 2 DOS. Not doing too well with my aim right now. I think one of the reasons why is because I'm bloody hot. I'm gonna change jackets, I'll be back in a sec. Wardrobe change. Yeah, this one's a lot lighter. Alright. Put the gun away, Doomlink. I hear that helps. One thing that would certainly help is some stamina, to be completely honest, but, yeah. Right, Vernon, so you more or less created this set just to hunt Brachydios, did you? That's good. To be honest, I am not really happy with my aim during this quest because, again, I'm so used to being able to get on target much faster. My DPS is higher in the later games because I can get on target faster, so this feels a little weird, but it's alright. I'm sure I'll get used to it. Do I have feeling? No, I couldn't have temper, it just looks like I'm staring at deviation here. Thank you, bro. Yeah, this one's not going to overheat me, fortunately. That leather jacket is a bit too gratuitous for this kind of weather, which is not cold at all, really. It's just mild. Temperate, I suppose, would be the term. It's really not cold at all. I suppose breaking the fists is important, so I will aim for them. Because if you're going to make stuff, and it's possibly good for getting gems as well, I really didn't know, but I think gems in terms of break rewards is mostly the head and cutting the tail, but unfortunately I can't contribute with the tail. Maybe I will go Blade Master next time. In fact, I probably will, just to keep it a little different. Once he leaves this area, I will check the box to see... What the fuck is that? 4 in a row. 5 attacks aimed at me in a row? What's going on, man? Are you okay? I must have said something to offend him. But yeah, it's mainly my DPS that's suffering right now. In terms of actual damage, it's not too bad, but DPS definitely could be better. A little bit out of critical distance, but not too far out. Let's not hit the tail. Again, you get so used to just being able to snap on target in the older games, so you actually start shooting too early if you're like me and you've become used to high sensitivity. Let's get you in a pitfall. Oh, or not. Just trying to position. There we go. Gotta find that opportunity. Feel free to... Well, actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go for the capture, but I don't want to miss out on my opportunity to hit him. I'm going for damage here, you go for that. Fist. Shit, this is not the time to run out of ammo. Not at all. It's really not the time. So now I have to deal with less damage here. But at least it's normal 3 and not normal 1, because normal 1 is actually a joke. Alright, let's combine some more normal 2. We're probably not going to run out of normal 2 in this quest, because, again, there's a lot to be crafted here. Let's just keep fighting him until we break that fist, Vernon. And if he's still limping at that point, we'll capture him. So this here is a secret area that can only be accessed if a brute wyvern oh, both fists have been destroyed. Okay, well, how about we just capture the other one? Because he's fucking dead. Of course, it's better to capture one and kill the other in 3 Ultimate, by far. I know that capture rewards don't stack, but maybe killing 2 does give you increased rewards. I'm not sure. But what I will tell you is that general practice for best rewards is capture 1, kill the other. That's what I always do. Now, because I'm pretty close to camp, I'm not going to use a Farcaster to get back, so I'm going to manually make my way to the camp, and I'm going to see if there is anything in the way of stamina recovery items in there, because really I'm not liking my stamina currently. I'm also not liking my DPS, I'm not liking my accuracy, because I'm really struggling with the sensitivity of this game in terms of ADS, so either I go something... Well, you know, if it were Pierce it wouldn't be a big deal, but with normal shots it is so important to be on target. Of course, nothing is being delivered yet. I mean, we're 10 minutes in and you haven't even delivered anything. Fucking hell. What I'll do is I will Farcaster to the box when supplies are delivered. That's what I'll do. Rex 3 has visited the port. I'm just going to say hi to him. One moment. I have to go over to my gamepad to do this. I'm being attacked by Antica, which is great. Alright. Where is our friend, Mr. Brachydios? I actually don't have a Psycho Serum on me, so... Have you found him? Oh, you've probably found him, Vernon, but you're waiting for me. That's probably what's happening. Oh, supplies delivered, of course. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save time, and I'm going to Farcaster. I'm sorry to do this to you. Really, the main reason why this is taking so long is because of my terrible accuracy with this gun. But, anyway. And we'll get a map as well, because I like having the map there. The map is so small in this game that... Barrel bomb large, I don't need that. If it were plus, then sure, but... No. It's just taking up space. Alright, let's go and recover some stamina, shall we? Seems like Brachydios is in Area 3. But yeah, because you can see the heads-up display is so small in this game. Look how small that map is. You need a fucking magnifying glass to see what's going on there. But that's the nature of a game that's optimized for a stationary console. They expect that you'll be playing on a big screen, so you don't need the map to be large. Which makes sense. But I'm still quite used to a larger map. I wish there were... Maybe there is an option to make it larger, I don't know, but... What I will tell you is that this size isn't too comfortable for me. Get an animation cancel on the reload, which is a big part of gunning. How did... I was really expecting to clear that, but obviously that is not happening. Have to roll. I suppose... Oh, I think it's raining outside. God, I've picked a very interesting day to record. Well, it's actually raining quite considerably. And it's now being reflected in the chroma key. I'm losing almost all natural light, so I'll have to make a change to that. I'll probably have to raise my room brightness a little bit as well, which is pretty nasty, but... well, I suppose... oh, that's one thing that I could do, yes. My light is turned up. What's happening? What just happened? Huh. Okay, well, my television randomly blanked there. I'm still in game, fortunately. What is happening? Oh my god, this is annoying. So I have to restart the capture, one moment. There we go. So, I don't know, I think that was an HDMI issue there. But now that the capture has been restarted, you can see the game again. I will... actually, well... yeah, the chroma key... oh dear, even I'm phasing out of existence. Okay, well... I will fix the lighting soon. Just after this quest, I don't want to drag this on any longer. I apologize that this is taking so long. It wouldn't if I were going Blade Master for the reason that I'm just not doing well for DPS. I'm trying. I'm doing what I can. But, yeah. I just need to try and contribute as much as I can here. By not making adjustments to the lighting scenario. I don't know if you can hear the rain. If you can, then that's a good thing, because I love the sound of rain. But... yeah, it's actually raining quite heavily. It's not often that I record during the rain, you know. It doesn't happen all that often, because generally if it's a rainy day, I will forego recording for the reason that it's kind of bad lighting, but... anyway. Well, see, that was what you call lag compensation, everyone. I wasn't even hitting that head, but the damage was being dealt. And I managed to break the head there. Aiming for those fists. It's a little dangerous. And then, as well as that, if I return to 4th gen gunning, it's going to feel really weird and the sensitivity is going to be super high again. I wish that they could just keep it the same across all the games, but I understand that they had to eventually make the decision that it was better to have higher sensitivity, and I agree with that. That's one thing that has been an improvement. I love 3rd gen gunning, let me make that very clear, but higher sensitivity is much better, because when you get used to higher sensitivity, it means you can snap on target faster. Obviously it's harder if you're not used to higher sensitivity, because then it's hard to get on target anyway, but once you are used to it, your DPS will be higher. So, that's kind of how it is here. Follow him. Hey, gaming. Well, I'm, after this recording, going to have to assume my nighttime lighting solution, because it is pouring with rain outside. I will see you again soon, Potato. Very soon. Mr. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Is that a... no, not a limp yet. Oh dear. I apologize for how long this is taking. It shouldn't... I mean, really, if I was properly optimized and properly... well, playing properly in general, we'd probably be done by now. I will go Blade Master for the next one. But yeah, it's very interesting because Vernon has said that he acquired a pallium before he acquired a gem, and I was saying to him that I have had that exact same experience. I recall someone telling me that in 4 Ultimate as well, he was getting Brachydios palliums, but he wasn't getting any gems. And I said to him, well, that's what happened to me in 3 Ultimate. And now Vernon's telling me he's received a pallium in 3 ultimate prior to receiving a gem, so I hope that's not going to mean you'll be getting another pallium before you even get 1 gem, but yeah. I've always had more trouble with gems than with palliums with this monster in this game, that's all I can tell you. I don't really remember how it was in 4 Ultimate. I don't think it was as bad, otherwise I would have remembered that, but good work on the tail. Very good work. Oh. That's not good. That was bad positioning. Part of the reason why that happened was because I was up against the wall, which is less than ideal, obviously. Is that a shiny? Or... No, it's not on my screen anyway. Ebon shell. I really don't want an ebon shell, thank you. If I carve a tail, I want a tail or a rare, not an ebon shell plus. That's just fucking insulting. But we've been over this. I do think it's ridiculous that you can carve something that's not a tail when you're carving the tail. The only scenario in which that should be allowed is if you've carved a gem or a pallium or something like that. That's my honest opinion. But anyway, I don't know if they've changed that in World, or in 5th generation in general. It's possible that they have, and I just haven't taken notice, or perhaps I've since forgotten, but yeah, that seems like something pretty important that needs to be changed, because it's ridiculous that you go out of your way to cut a tail and then you carve a tail, but you don't get a tail. If you think about it logically, it makes no fucking sense. So... Ow. That was poor positioning. Again, I thought I'd cleared it, so I did a bit of a diagonal roll, but ended up rolling into it. I could record books with this voice, yeah. I would like to do that, but that's a bit of an industry, isn't it? Something you have to get into. I'd love to do something with my voice for work, to be honest, but... There's one thing about this world that I can guarantee you of. It is the fact that talent does not always result in good work, or a good career, or things like that. That's all I can say. And the best example of that would be the music industry. But definitely, if you work hard enough, you can achieve pretty much anything that you want. So I guess I'm just not working hard enough, that's probably what it comes down to. Alrighty, so we do have one more fist to break. And then everything will be broken on this Brachy. Oh, that was really interesting. He wanted to come back to see me, and then he decided, no, I'm actually going to leave after all. I'm assuming what happened there was, they do have a very specific exit point, and he missed the specific exit point and had to reposition, which is kind of funny, but anyway. Oh, he didn't manage to break it, but that's okay. I apologise that took 20 minutes, but at least we got it done. I'm not going to do normal gunning when I'm so out of sorts when it comes to the sensitivity of 3rd generation bow gunning. And it saddens me that I'm actually out of practice with that. But I can understand why it's causing trouble. Because the sensitivity for 4th generation gunning is really totally different. Totally different. You carved a gem? That's great to hear. That's great to hear. So you can see that I'm basically turning into the background. I have to make some adjustments here, and really all that's involved is me plugging in a light. I will get that organised. Okay. And that should be good for the rest of the recording, although I'm probably a bit illuminated here, aren't I? Yeah, that's annoying. What's that? Yeah, that'll do. It's a little bit annoying to have that light there, and I hope it's not shining on me there. But you know what? That's better than whatever it was. I can tell you that much. Because now I'm not becoming one with the background. So I have to make sure that I don't actually put any cortexes in my box. That wouldn't be good. I'll have to sell them. Because again, I'm keeping to a stack of 99 for most of this stuff. Slog bones... yeah, I'll take it, why not? How about this? Yeah, I'll take adamant ore. Sell those. Hello, Betastar. Betastar, I don't know if I should call you Betastar, Betastar. I don't know. Some people's names I just can't say. At least, not without wondering if I'm saying it correctly. Alright. So here's an example of someone who's actually willing to wait. This is kind of typical of this community. Not just because there aren't many people playing, but just it's a different community in general. That's what I'll say about that. Because even when these servers were quite populated, it was just normal for people to wait for someone to return from a quest. It's just how it was. It was a different time, people weren't as desperate for instant gratification in those days, and it really wasn't all that long ago, but incredibly, things have changed in this short amount of time. Beta star, okay. Now you know why that's confusing. It's because you've split them into two words, bet and asta. But you've said that it's actually beta star. I'm guessing it's beta, not beta. So beta star, okay. But you see why that's confusing, I'm assuming. Alright, we've got a group of 4, this is awesome. Now this is not an invitation for me to go normal gunning again. I realise this. I will go Blade Master. I'm not sure what I'll do though. Maybe dual blades, yeah. Let's go element. And I'll choose... probably the Fistolution. Unless... yeah, this doesn't have sharpness +1, does it? So Fistolution might be a bad idea. I generally don't use the Morales weapons unless I have sharpness +1, so... should I change my set, or should I just use... wherever they are. Or do I not have other fire dual blades? I do. No, I don't. I thought I did in this game. Well, there you go. Apparently I don't. I could always use my Spectral Demolisher. No, but that's stupid. Brachydios has strong resistance to slime. Or at least he does have strong resistance to blast in 4th gen, so I'm assuming he has good slime resistance. Okay, I will change sets for the Fistolution then. I will use the Honed Blade set. There we go. This is another really, really cool weapon design. Check that out. How cool is that? Again, unique to this game. Alrighty. So this time we're actually going to eat. Oh, this guy's got the shark attack. This is a tri-joke weapon. Although it's not a joke weapon in the sense that it's actually weak. It's a pretty good lance, actually. It was my water lance of choice back in Tri. Although there were not many choices. I think you had the Ludroth and the Shark Lance, and I went with the Shark Lance in Tri. Okay, this is going to be a much faster hunt, thankfully. I'd completely forgotten that we were supposed to capture that second Brachydios, and we just killed it anyway. Oh well. I had since forgotten, like by the time we got that Brachydios killed, I'd completely forgotten we were aiming for the capture. We can just kill this one, of course. It's just going to be easier than trying to capture it with a group of 4. But yeah, this is awesome that we just have a group here. And this is what I mean. This is why I am actually willing to play this game these days. While there aren't many people playing, you can generally get into a group. It's not too hard. As long as you have a bit of patience, people will join. If you're one of those people who needs instant gratification, you need people in the room immediately, oh, you're not going to have fun in this game, I can tell you that much. Ken was helping you earlier? Yeah, with a small community, you will be playing with a lot of the same people. I've probably played with these people before. Although it seems that okay, I don't play frequently, I play every few months. And it seems that every few months I do see different people. Although I might also forget some people, it's also possible. But usually I'm pretty good at remembering names I've seen more than once or twice. So, you know, twice or 3 times if I've seen the name, it will often stay in mind. Ooh, that's not a good time to attack at all. Oh dear. Look how lovely these dual blades are. So cool. And yeah, Beta Star is not a new viewer. He just doesn't tune in as often. Doing the X combo there to try and get my charge up as fast as possible. Unfortunately ran out of that. Ran out of stamina more or less. Why am I using fire? Why is no one asking... Why did no one question my use of a fire weapon? Why did no one question that? You know why? It's because I had the tundra in my head still. That's so ridiculous. I remembered to eat, but I'm using a fire weapon. Oh my god, why does no one question these things? You people break my heart, you really do. If I do something really fucking dumb, like use fire dual blades, heavy on fire element, on a fucking Brachydios, you have to say something. Because sometimes I do dumb shit. Oh shit. God, I feel like a fool. I should be using the guild lightsabers right now. Fucking hell. Again, I had the tundra in mind. Fucking hell. Leave what I'm doing. Fucking Morales dual blades on a fucking Brachydios and no one says a word. Anyway. What do you do? What do you do? Try to keep away from that. I'm doing almost fuck all for damage, really, because the Morales weapons do focus quite heavily on elemental damage. Of course, I do have purple sharpness, but whatever. Just have to live with using fucking fire weapons on a Brachydios, I guess. This is my challenge run, I suppose. At least we've got a full fucking group. Imagine if I did this and we were 2-manning still. We would actually have to abandon. Because that's just not okay. Oh my god. I'm probably going to have to take this jacket off soon as well, because it's... well, I suppose it's not as necessary for me to have it on now, is it? Ugh. I feel like I'm overheating. Didn't mean to walk into that fist. Everything's going downhill because I started off with a gun that I could barely control. Not fucking antidotes, mate. I started off with a gun that I could barely control. And now I'm using totally inappropriate dual blades for this fight. And I'm also overheating, so I'm gonna take off this fucking jacket. Because this is just pissing me right off. It's not easy to do it in this chair, actually. Here we go. Fuck me. For these first 2 hunts, I feel like I've really barely done anything. Okay, now I feel like I can breathe again. There goes the tail. Very good to have the tail cut. Every time. If we're looking for gems, that is. Okay. Yeah, I'm really disappointed with this loadout, but again, I'm quite glad we have a team here. I will go dual blades again, but I will use the correct one for the next time. Alright. He would be limping if I had the correct weapons. Yeah, if you do get hit by a monster while you are slimed, that damage is very, very heavy. It's a bad time, it's not fun at all. Brachydios was a very interesting monster when he was first introduced. I thought he was a very cool addition. I also liked slime until I realized just how broken it was. He was a good design, he was inspired. And he was a monster that stayed in the series, well and truly. But I regret to say that the whole slime system really didn't work out for Capcom in this game. They just couldn't balance it. I mean, how hard is it to realize that if you would be stupid to use anything other than slime, almost, because slime is just that much better than everything else, then you've probably fucked up the balancing somewhere. I mean, does Capcom not test these things? I suppose they don't, otherwise they wouldn't have something so imbalanced. Same with the mounting system. It's just ridiculous, they can't help themselves, they really can't. When they introduce something new, they just have to make it too strong. And I have theorized in the past that they actually do this intentionally, because they want people to engage with the new system. And then in later games they just nerf it because they were willing to have the game dominated by the new system when it was first introduced, but then the system would be balanced later. So in other words, it's not their incompetence that has resulted in this, it is actually all planned. It's possible, but it seems like a really stupid idea, because what ends up happening is you have an imbalanced monster in the game just to force people to use the new system, which is stupid. I mean, you don't have to do that. In other words, making mounting so easy in 4 Ultimate was probably an incentive, or was intended to incentivize people to use the new mounting system. Because if it's not very good, then people don't really use it, right? So that, it may very well, there might be a degree of planning to it. They might not rebalance in the new games while going, oh, why did we ever do that? It might not be like that. It might all be planned. That wasn't just me trying to be devil's advocate. It's actually possible. It's actually possible. Alright, so I apologize for using a fucking fire dual blade loadout for a monster that is probably not taking any damage from fire at all. Not just a little bit, but nothing. But I will do better next time. No one even said anything in the game chat. Fucking hell. No one was like, whoa, what's happening now? He's got fire dual blades. At least they're nice to look at. If there's any consolation, you were at least able to witness the beauty of the Morales dual blades, which is probably... would it be my second favourite design? Possibly. Possibly. My favourite, of course, being the hunting horn, which is really cool looking. Really cool. Alright. Take those. Then we'll be back on the selling side of things for Cortexes. Okay. I just checked to make sure that the light that I'm using for my green screen is not shining too much on my face, and it's really not, and to be honest, at that angle it's not too distracting, so it's not too bad. So, you managed to get 2 gems in 2 quests, which is really good to hear. It's really good to hear. I hope that the next gem is not going to take forever for you, because that would be a shame. Because sometimes that sort of thing happens. It's unfortunate, you know, you need 3 things, you get the first 2 immediately, and then that last one takes forever. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Fear not, ladies and gentlemen, for I'm now going to be elementally effective. Oh, Master Sabers are what they're called here. Well, that's fine. Let's put away this VE Deluxe ticket. I can't help but read VE as Victory in Europe. Every time I see that, I'm just like, oh yeah, Victory in Europe. I suppose I do have Psychoserums, actually. Still looking for Nullberries. I'm assuming that I can buy them from her. I'm quite sure I remember being able to do that. Alright, double Brachy. Sounds good. If you can type into the chat, Vernon, just tell them 1 cap, 1 kill. Because that will net you the best rewards. We didn't do it last time and you still managed to get a gem, which is good, but the higher our chances, the better. Awesome. And a lot of people who play frequently just do that naturally anyway. Like, people who have played this game a lot know to capture one and kill the other, but just in case they don't know, it's good to remind them. I didn't actually confirm the hunter ranks of our players here, but that's alright. I didn't eat! Fucking hell! There's always something, isn't there? I'm either not eating, or I'm using the wrong weapon. Fucking hell, how am I so distracted by the process of recording this fucking game? Oh, did I eat? I think I did eat. No, I didn't. I did. When did I eat? Wow, I did that completely. You see, this is exactly... Whoops, that's a cool drink. This is why I can forget to eat. It's because when I do eat, I do it so subconsciously that I don't think whether or not I've eaten before I start a quest, because I never commit the process to memory. But I did actually eat, but I didn't even think to do it. So that's why, you know, if I'm sufficiently distracted, where my muscle memory of eating before a quest doesn't kick in my subconscious, I'm kind of fucked, because I will never remember that I haven't eaten if I haven't done it subconsciously. If that makes any sense. So there you go. We've actually got the right weapon type now. Or the right element type anyway. Now, try to be smart here. Stamina management when you don't have infinite stamina is kind of a task, but I really shouldn't be doing Demon Dance at this stage. But yeah, one thing that I don't like about the heads-up display in this game, and it's kind of a silly complaint, but I always enjoyed being able to very clearly see when you had 150 health and stamina, because in the portable games it would go all the way across the screen. That was one good thing about the portable games, but because the heads-up display is smaller, for cinematic reasons, in stationary console Monster Hunter games, it doesn't go all the way across. Although I think it did in PlayStation 2 Monster Hunter, although I can't really remember. But I think it went all the way across the screen at 4:3 ratio. Most likely did, to be honest, because you had less screen real estate for that. So that would make sense. But I think even in Try it went all the way across the screen, didn't it? Or at the very least it went further than this does in Try at 150, I'm pretty sure. Anyway. not good. I need to be using Demon Dance sparingly because this monster is constantly moving. I guess we're going 2 on... We're splitting into groups of 2 there. That's funny, he managed to flinch before getting into the trap. And, oh, is he gonna get in? Yes, he did. Just on the edge of it. Just on the edge of it. This is a Demon Dance opportunity. Although that was still a little awkward. Shockingly, I actually managed to retain my charge, even though I thought I had lost it. There must have been just a sliver. And so I was able to retain it, which is really interesting. Because I swear there was nothing there. Catch you later, spaceman. Oh dear, I knew I was going to get hit by that. That's called being too greedy, ladies and gentlemen. Just in case you wanted to see what that looks like, it looks like that. Okay. Now, I've definitely lost my charge this time. Now, at least I didn't get slimed. Going for the X combo for maximum charge level. Again, the X combo is best for getting your charge up, but it is hard to actually get all the hits out because it's a fairly slow combo, as you can see. You are rewarded for getting that long Demon Dance combo out with damage, and you're rewarded with getting the long X combo out with lots of charge. So, that's how it works. I do have raw resistance, thankfully. Those away. One thing I do like about dual blades in 4th generation is that like when you're charged up and you press X to attack, or X and A non-demonized, you've got that lovely forward spinning attack. I love that. It looks great, it's awesome for closing the distance. I mean, maybe it closes the distance just as well, but to my eyes it looks a little better. Yeah, I can clear that. Of course I'm trying to conserve stamina here. Oh, I managed to actually not get hit there. It was very close though. Very close. Doom, since your experiences can play most if not all weapons, what yours do? Sometimes I have to, rather than read messages out, I have to reinterpret them. Basically, my first main weapon when I started Monster Hunter was, well, thinking back to Freedom Unite, I didn't really stick with any weapon types. In Freedom Unite, this is going to sound weird, I was using, of course, I was playing almost exclusively solo for a while in Freedom Unite. Ouch. I was playing almost exclusively solo in Freedom Unite. The weapons that I gravitated towards were Hunting Horn and Gun Lance. Now, Hunting Horn I gravitated towards because it had that heavy slam attack, that X and A, whereas, well, I'm going to lose my charge, I'm so close to losing it, I think I've lost it. Ah, I just managed to get it back. So you had that heavy slam of the Hunting Horn, which was good motion value, and I didn't know anything about motion value at the time. I just knew instinctively that that was good damage, so I very much liked that. But of course, Hunting Horn is not very good if you're playing solo. And then Gun Lance I liked because it had the Wyvern Fire. I knew that that was good damage. So I viewed Hunting Horn and Gun Lance to be good free damage weapon types very early on when I was first playing Monster. I didn't really use Sword and Shield in Freedom Unite, and I'm glad that I didn't because it's really low damage in 2nd gen, really low damage, so it's good that I didn't stick with that. I played it a little bit, but I did play more dual blades than Sword and Shield in Freedom Unite before I had played Tri. When Tri came out, I played that, and the weapon type that I absolutely fell in love with was Sword and Shield, 100%. I played the fuck out of that, and I also later on, I mean, I had started Greatsword fairly early on in Tri, but it wasn't a deep love of mine until later on in Tri, when I was right in the end game, and just playing Greatsword. I think I had seen people using Greatsword to great effect with soloing monsters like Elatrion, and I was good with Greatsword, but I wasn't that good. I wasn't comfortable enough to solo an Elatrion with a Devil Joe Greatsword, for example. And so I did a few solo runs with Elatrion and got good with that, and that's when I really fell in love with Greatsword for the first time. I fell in love with it, and it became one of my favourite weapon types. So to this day, my two favourite weapon types for Blade Master are Sword and Shield and Greatsword. And you will see that reflected in all of my guild card uses. At least in the case of Greatsword, every game except for this one, Greatsword is my highest Blade Master use. And when I returned to Freedom Unite to play Greatsword again, it was very weird because Greatsword operated rather differently to what I was used to. Because the charge system was very automatic in that game. You just held the charge button until you were fully charged, and then the sword would automatically come down. Of course, in 3rd generation, you had to time it properly. You would get to the level 3 charge. You're going for capture? I'm shocked he's not fucking capturable. That's really quite odd. He must be so close now. Unfortunately, I didn't have the stamina to evade that. But yeah, that was my beginning with using weapon types in Monster Hunter. My first two were Hunting Horn and Gunlance, which is really funny to think about. But yeah, I did try them all at one time, and for some reason, like back then, and for some reason those were the two that I had decided on. And to be honest, it wasn't a terrible... Like, my instincts were not really that off. Because Wyvern Fire is good for free damage. I mean, I just recall fighting Tigrex in Freedom Unite when I was first playing. I mean, it was crushingly difficult for me. The way that I approached Tigrex was that I would use Gunlance, and I would not engage him at all when he was enraged. I could not. I couldn't fight him if he was enraged. He was dealing too much damage and he was too fucking fast. So what I did was I would, if he was enraged, just try to find an opportunity to Wyvern Fire him and then leave him alone and then wait for my Wyvern Fire to charge again, and then I would hit him with the Wyvern Fire, and then I would go in for normal attacks if he wasn't enraged. Did he limb? Vernon. Let's just drop a trap, let's go for it. It's fucking dangerous, but I'm trying it anyway. Can I get him? Yeah, oh, yeah. Let's do it. Hey, very good. I didn't know the other one had died. Where is the other one? Whoa. I'm really not paying attention to the hunt. I have to... No, I'm not going to be able to carve him in time because we captured the last one, which means that we're going to return from the room, or rather return from the quest quite quickly. Return from the room. It turns out that if you capture the second monster in a double quest, you don't return from the quest faster. Isn't that interesting? Oh well. Not that I need Brachydios Gems anyway, although I would take some gems. I probably still don't have many gems in this game, to be completely honest. You know, I didn't make all of the Brachydios weapons in this game because I didn't have any gems. I had plenty of palliums, I just didn't have gems. So, that's funny. Anyway. Getting a little bit of natural light again. But I'm keeping my light on there, just because I feel like that's a smarter thing to do. Just for the moment. See what I mean? It's absolutely nightmarish, lighting-wise. Constantly having to change it. Or change my setup to reflect it. If it rains, I want it to just keep raining. I love the rain. I really do. But not in Australia because it doesn't fucking last. Unless it's the middle of winter. Sell those cortexes again. Did not get the 3rd gem? Well, that's alright. Let's do Nagakuga just to keep these guys entertained. I'd be happy to keep grinding Brachydios, but I'm just worried that they're not going to appreciate it, so... Let's do some Nagakuga. If it were any other monster, I don't think they would mind, but again, Brachydios is one of those hunts that everyone who's played this game for a few hundred hours has probably hunted, you know, 30, 40, 50 Brachydios. So, I would spare them if I were you. What would I like to use? I probably have the Nether Gunlance, don't I? I have no memory of owning it, but I probably do. Where is it? Oh. What? What is my Thunder Gunlance in this game? Do I not have one? I don't have a... What? I don't have a Thunder Gunlance in this game? What the fuck? I could have sworn that I had one. That's very strange. Wow. Okay, well what do I need? I can probably make the standard one. Just like the standard nether. That's fucked. That's actually fucked. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Oh, of course, if you want to just craft it like this, outright, you do need the dynamo for it. That's really fucked up, and I hate that. I really hate that. Was I working on upgrading something? No, I wasn't even working on upgrading anything. That's weird. It's actually really weird. I can't even make the laggy fucking gunlance. This is sad stuff, ladies and gentlemen. This is a sad day. I guess I could go with the Shining Ishtar, or whatever they call it in this game. I think it's Shining Ishtar. Yes. We'll go with that. It's a very good gunlance, good alternative. Breaks my heart, though, that I don't have a fucking Thunder Gunlance in this game. Can't believe it. Actually, floored me to see that. I really did think that I had made the Nether Gunlance at some point, but I guess I never did. You're mainly a gunner in Gen 1 to 2? Right, yeah, ammunition was always very difficult to manage in the early game. Not just in terms of how much you had, but also the fact that it cost money. And if you know anything about going through Monster Hunter in the early game, money is a problem. So if you're having to spend all this money on ammunition, it really isn't nice. So I would never recommend a person use a gun in early game. I've always used guns for G rank, pretty much. When I knew that I wasn't going to need to worry about money anymore, of course I would miss Exchanger, that seems about right. Oh well. Let's go. So I actually really like this Gunlance set. I probably could have made it even... No, I couldn't have made it better. I think I rely on a 3 slot to make it better than what it is now, but... It's a very nice set. It's Guard +2, Artillery Expert, Mind's Eye, Attack Up Small, and Biomaster. I do not have Guard Up on it, and to be completely honest, I would prefer Guard Up over Guard +2. I usually prefer Guard Up just because I would rather be able to shield everything than shield most things, but better. That's the way I look at it. Because if you're fully reliant on a shield, you want to be able to fully rely on it, clearly. And you can't versus certain monster attacks if you don't have guard up, so that's the way I've always seen it. But I guess this was the easiest set for me to get, so I just went with this. It is, I believe, full Steel Uragan. It is not a mixed set. No, I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying, or well, rather I'm agreeing with you that it's difficult to manage. I'm sympathizing, because obviously I know that. What I just said is clearly from experience, because I did try to gun in the early game in some game. I don't know what it was. It might have been Portable Third. But I tried it, and it's hard. It's not fun. I think I did it a little bit in Freedom 1 too. And it's hard to get the money together, especially in Freedom 1. I mean, first generation, money is hell. Money is the thing you need most in first gen. And you just never have enough of it. Try to Wyvern Fire if I can. Here we go. Need to remember to do that. I've talked about this, but I'm out of the habit of Wyvern firing at the beginning of a quest with a gun lance because of Generations Ultimate. Because in that game, you want to actually charge up your heat gauge with your gun lance. But the way you're supposed to do it with gun lance is the sooner you Wyvern fire, the sooner you can recharge it. So you want to do it immediately. But again, I'm out of the habit of doing that because of that fucking game. Just need to try to remember these things, you know? Which I did manage to remember, for the most part. You will notice that when I go gun lance in Generations Ultimate, sometimes I don't even Wyvern fire at all. So, yeah, in other words, with gun lance, I'm no longer really in the habit of ensuring that I go Wyvern fire. Or shoot Wyvern fire, we'll say. Yeah, this Naga Cougar is not going to last too long. If it is indeed a high rank, which I believe it is. I remember you said that you were going to post a high rank, I just didn't check to see if this one was. Very good. There goes the tail. Oh, I probably could have gone for the shot there, but I didn't want to launch my teammates, so I decided to be sensible. Have you made any of the Gobel weapons in this game, Vernon? I think you said you made the Gobel sword and shield, didn't you? Or you were meaning to, anyway. Because that's a monster that I'd love to fight. Because I never fight Gobel. How did I miss my opportunity for the heavy shot there? That doesn't seem to make any sense. I'm more focused on using my physical attacks here because this is a status poison-based set. So. Yeah, the more I can apply poison, the better. Just very consistent damage. But yeah, I'd love to fight Gobel because he is a monster that I never fight. He is unique to Tri and 3 Ultimate. Well, exclusive to those games, I should say. And you never really fight him in this game because no one wants Gobel. Everyone wants Brachydios and Morales and... what else? I don't know, just not Gobel. Or Crimson Kurapeko. You have the lance? I see. It's a good lance. Have you upgraded it all the way? I don't really want to throw you off task, I'm just saying that I love Gobel. Well, I don't love him, to be honest. I remember you said that you really like Gobel. I think you said he's your favourite 3rd gen monster. I don't feel that strongly about him. But I do long for him because I've fought him so little that I attribute most of my Gobel experience to my Tri life, like back when I was playing Tri like crazy. So it's mostly a very, very positive thing. I need to make sure that I think those were hard monster bones. I need to make sure that I sell those because I've created another stack for them. I'm going to try turning off this light because I'm getting natural light in again. How's that? Yeah, that's looking fine. Yeah, that's fine. And that way I don't have this fucking bright light in my peripheral vision half blinding me. Again, I angled it so that it wasn't quite as blinding, but it's not that pleasant. Okay. So let's go and sell those bones, if I can. Here we go. Hard bones, yes. Remove those. And it looks like we've created a new stack for husks, but I'd rather create a new stack for husks, to be honest. Again, you can see I've only got this many slots in my box, so I do need to be careful with my slot management. What have we got on the board? got another high rank Nagapuga. I will change my loadout. You're 3 Pelagosites short for the Sword and Shield. Okay. I guess I could use a Fire Gun Lance, couldn't I? There's no reason why I couldn't use a Fire Gun Lance. Why do I have 2 Dragon Gun Lances, but I don't have a fucking Thunder one? It's lightning in this game, but you know. Let's use the Duality. Why not? It's not really good sharpness-wise here, because I don't have sharpness +1, but that's alright. Let's just do it. I feel like going Gun Lance, shockingly. Doesn't happen often. I mean, I've said this before, but when I use Gun Lance a lot, I really do get sick of it, but if I use it every now and again, I can get some enjoyment out of it. Oh, it feels good to play this game. It feels really good to play this game. I'm so glad that you're here playing it, Vernon, because I don't have anyone to play with. There's no one who really plays 3 Ultimate, unfortunately. Not many people have a Wii U. So... And it's hard to record live when you're fully reliant on whatever people want to do in this very small community. Sometimes you just don't even get into a hunt, and if that room closes, sometimes you're just not able to get into another one. It's really kind of a problem, but if you've got someone, such as the case here with me able to hunt with you, it's really good, because I can get into consistent hunts, it's good fun, I feel like I'm really engaging with the game again, and it's good fun. It's really good fun. It's not too good. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Because again, I don't just say it for fun, I'm quite serious when I say that this is my favourite Monster Hunter game. Yes, there are problems with it, but at the end of the day, this is the one. This is where I'm most comfortable. Except for gunning, I suppose, as we've established, but that's only because I've become used to other things in the meantime. But I love the way 3rd gen gunning does things like the sounds of all the shots and the way they look as well. I love how they did piercing Tri and 3 Ultimate. Looks so good. It's perfect. The sound effect is perfect. The visual effect is perfect. It's not too over the top. Full world would be my favorite. Yes. Even though you're not a Monster Hunter player, nor do you know much about Monster Hunter Tron, you still know how to troll me. Good work. I wish I could record more Zelda for you, Tron, but Monster Hunter... Zelda was my favourite series when I was growing up. It's still one of my favourite series, but as of about 12 years ago, this became my new favourite. And I mean, if you're willing to try it, Tron, it's worth getting into. I mean, this is from one Zelda player to another. I think you would enjoy what this series offers to a player. It might not, you said it's not your thing, but I don't know if that's because you don't know what's involved, or it's actually something that you have thought about and you realise, no, I'm not interested in this sort of thing. If so, then that's fine. Yeah. I get a lot of enjoyment out of Monster Hunter. And always have. Well, there have been times where I've played a little less, but... Oh yeah, that's right, Wyvern Fight. Again, I keep forgetting. Silly me. I'm not really shelling here because I don't want to mess up my teammates. But I could try shelling. Just a single shot will do, I guess. Right, I see, yeah. That is a good point. If you just look at the gameplay at face value, it probably doesn't... You don't really know what you're dealing with here. To give you a short description, every weapon type works extremely differently. Your style of play can be accommodated by whatever weapon type you choose to use, and when you're first coming into the game, you kind of need to invest in one specific weapon type. But then you can branch out a little bit more as you have fought more monsters and you have access to more materials. Basically, the essence of Monster Hunter is you go out, you hunt a monster, and you make shit out of its materials. You make armor for yourself, you make weapons, and you have different elements, you have different damage values. There's a lot going on, basically. It's not beginner friendly. At least not this era of Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter World, yeah, very beginner friendly. If you don't know what the fuck you're doing in a Monster Hunter game, you can just go in there and probably enjoy yourself because it's designed for that. But this era of Monster Hunter is not beginner friendly at all because there is a huge learning curve because there is so much information to take on board. But it is one of the most rewarding series in the world. In that, when you do learn what you're doing, it's very, very fun. Yeah, all weapons are very, very different. For example, the gun lance that I was using right there is very slow. You can't really evade much. It's basically one of those slow mobility weapon types that compensates for its low mobility by dealing heavy damage. And it also relies on a shield. So if there's something that if your weapon type has a shield, you're not going to be able to evade very well. The only exception to that is sword and shield, which is the all-rounder weapon type. It's a small sword and a small shield. You can't shield as well with the small shield, but you can block most damage. And you can roll very easily away from attacks, you can attack very fast. It is the most mobile and balanced of all the weapon types. But it's not very damaging. But if you're very consistent with hitting the monster, you can really make up for that somewhat lacking damage. But what I mean to say is that when you come into Monster Hunter, you will find that your preference will be accommodated for, at least by one weapon type, and there are so many options. But, yeah, I do appreciate that it might be hard to really see what it's all about when you don't know what you're looking at, and it's just me attacking the monster. But really, Tron, if you'd like to give it a try, maybe try World. I wouldn't... At this point, if World is an option, unless I was really, really serious about getting a person into the series, I wouldn't recommend that they play an older game like this, because it is a huge investment. World is not an investment. World is just, you get on there and you... Even if you don't know what you're doing, it feels like you're doing the right thing. Which is bad in a sense, but at least you can appreciate something about Monster Hunter. It's not really Monster Hunter that you're appreciating if you come onto World for the first time and you're enjoying it, but you're appreciating at least a small fraction of what makes Monster Hunter special. And that's one thing anyway. Okay. Yeah, just pick up one of the 3DS ones. Go and pick up 4 Ultimate. You've got 2 choices for the 3DS, well, technically 3. The game that I'm playing right now also is on the 3DS, but okay, in that case you've got 2 options. You've either got 3 Ultimate or 4 Ultimate for the 3DS. I couldn't really tell you what the best to start with is. I guess 4 Ultimate, because it is a little more involved story-wise. They try really hard to give you a story that you can engage with, whereas in this game the story is a bit, you know, it's more about hunting the monsters than about the story, in other words. So, yeah, I think 4 Ultimate would be really good for your first Monster Hunter. You'd be ahead of most people. People who start in World are definitely behind on just learning about what makes the series special. This is assuming that they do go back. The people who don't go back who started in World, they don't have to worry. They'll always be right where they need to be. What am I doing with myself? Greatsword would be good. Yeah, let's go Greatsword. Go with this setup. Did someone leave? Yeah. Rex 3 did not want to do that again. So we'll go Greatsword, and then Water if I have it, which I do. Why am I even asking? Excalius Sword. This is the Cedeus Sword. Event Brachy. No, you didn't post Event Brachy, did you? Is this... You're insane. You literally... You don't understand, Vernon. Have you done this before? You probably have, but we're not going to succeed. Holy shit, what do I use for this? Event Brachy. It's been years? Well, prepare to be reminded. This, ladies and gentlemen, the quest that we're about to do is, in my opinion, the hardest quest in the entire series. The entire series. And, yeah, I guess we're about to do it. I don't know what my defense is like for this set, but I'm going to make sure it's fully upgraded. I'm going to upgrade this armor if it's not fully upgraded. Looks like I can upgrade it further. I don't have too many true armor spheres, actually. Look at this. This is a bit sad. I'm happy to use all of my true armor spheres on this, quite frankly. Checking to see if she's selling null berries. Come on, baby. You're selling berries, but no null berries. Fucking useless woman. You have no memory of it? Oh. Well, to start with, we cannot 3 mana. We couldn't possibly. I mean, it's difficult enough with 4. With 3, no. It's almost just not even a possibility. But you know what we'll do? We will 3 mana just so that you can be reminded, Vernon. We will 3 mana so that you can be reminded. What did I eat for? Carver High and Heroics? No. I should have been eating for Moxie. Okay, well, look, Vernon, we're gonna do it just so that you can see what this is. We're not going to succeed, but play as if you're going to be one-shot. Because you probably will be one-shot. And if you're not one-shot, then, well, you'll see. Let's see what I'm made of. Oh, don't expect too much. I usually gun against this monster in this quest, but this is a big Brachydios. He can basically one-shot you, and he's... yeah. Until you fought a Brachydios who can basically one-shot you, you don't realise how hard that is, but it's hard. Because Brachy catches you. He catches you very easily. So, here we go. Anyone want to place bets on how quickly we'll triple cart? I'm going to guess 3 minutes. That's going to be my guess. Of course, I'm going to do my best. I'm not going to sit here and fucking throw the hunt, but I will do my best. Ken has taken a hit. As you can see, he's fucking big. The bigger a monster is, the harder it is to deal with their attacks because they cover more ground with every animation. And of course, something like this will have more range as well, because the explosions are relative to the, I suppose, the size of the monster. You have returned, Potato. To no one's surprise. Although I don't mean to make you feel bad. Welcome back. I'm stuck in a fucking combo. But yeah, Stygian Zenogre, I mean, maybe people have different opinions as to which is the hardest. Super Brachy or Super Stygian. I find Super Stygian to be much easier. No, I mean, he's hard, but this is impossible. I just remember being team wiped by this thing. A long time ago. Maybe my memories are embellished, but I'm pretty sure this is the hardest quest in the series. We're playing very carefully and doing reasonably well. All you need to realise is it's not just the damage that he deals, it's his health. It's going to take us like 30 minutes to kill this guy. Of course, the idea is that the longer you hunt the monster, especially if it does a shitload of damage, it's like a war of attrition, it's like an endurance test. It's sort of... well, there goes Ken. Brachydios has sped up now. When he's moving at this speed, that's when you start to realise what's wrong. Oh, what do you mean 2? Oh, yeah, as in 2 deaths left, yeah. Well, I think my guess of 3 minutes is already starting to look a bit pessimistic, but there's nothing to apologize for, Ken. Ken literally said sorry, as if we're gonna fucking blame him for dying to this monster. I mean, no one's gonna blame you for that. This monster is miserable. But, yeah, my point is that it's hard enough if the monster hits you really hard, but if it just... okay, fine. If it lasts forever, seemingly, you will eventually run out of healing wares, and you will eventually slip up. The longer you hunt the monster, the more likely you're eventually going to slip up. So, yeah, it's a truly painful hunt, and I can tell you there's nothing more unpleasant than spending like 30 to 35 minutes on one monster, only to fail. It is one of the most unpleasant experiences you can ever have, because... what is there to say other than... it's really just a complete waste of time to fail a quest 35 minutes in. You haven't really achieved anything, you've just wasted time. Well, I didn't say you were dumb, but maybe that was implied. But there's an example of free type in online quests. That's something that is just not really achievable in the other games. Except for, I suppose, 5th gen, but it used to be a thing. Free type in the stationary console games, I mean, Monster Hunter 1, Monster Hunter G, Monster Hunter Tri, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, all of those allow for free type in hunts, which is extremely important for strategy. But in 4 Ultimate, Generations, Generations Ultimate, and 4 as well, of course, you are limited to pre-typed messages. Great. Real good for strategy, eh? The sun is coming out, of course. It was pouring with rain, and it was dark as hell before. And now the sun is out, so I will have to make a change to my lighting. You might run out of time, Beta Star. You might. Well, I suppose it's possible. With 3 people, yeah. With 4 people, probably not. You are more likely to triple faint than run out of time on a monster like this. We're doing very well, we're being very careful. I'm being very careful, and the fact that we've only got 1 death so far would indicate that everyone's being nice and careful. But, of course, the more conservative with your play you are, the lower your DPS. And when you've already got a monster that is just so fucking strong, health-wise, and you're being conservative with DPS, it's just going to take longer and longer and longer. And then, if you do ultimately fuck up, if you do ultimately allow for a triple card, that's wasted time, isn't it? I'll do what I can. To be honest, I'm not playing super hard right now. I'm not expecting victory, but I'm not throwing the game, I will tell you that. Yeah, I would have gone gun if I was serious. Probably would have gone pierce gun and then moved on to normal when I had used all my pierce combinations. Something like that. That's probably what I would have done. Probably would have been more fun. Although, yeah, he keeps leaving. Check this out. What an asshole. Changing my white balancing, and I'm going to reduce the brightness of my room light. Of course, now that the rain is gone, Bob the Builder has arrived with his whatever he's using today. I was woken up by the sound of him hammering something this morning at about 8 in the morning, which was just a delight. But yeah, now he's got a power tool out. Yeah, lots of traps are important for this monster, but obviously diminishing returns of 3rd gen will result in less than ideal multi-traps. Australian weather is indeed that. Although British weather, I will say, is fairly consistent when it's raining, because over there, as I understand it, it'll often just be raining for days at a time, which I'd love, because consistency is what I lack. Ow. Of course, I'm just going to run out of potions soon. I mean, we're 5 minutes in and I've used 5 of each. So, well, probably not 5 minutes in, probably closer to about 8 minutes in, but you know. It's running out of potions, it's the fact that the hunt just goes on and on and on. That's the thing, if you get into this hunt and you're just like, oh yeah, I can take these hits, it's not too bad, you've missed the point. Because you'll be doing it for 30 minutes. And if you're 15 minutes in and you're like, oh shit, I'm sort of running out of healing wares here, then keep in mind, you're probably only halfway through the hunt. I don't know. Let's just enjoy it while it lasts, everyone. Of course, the further along the hunt you go... Oh, that's not good. That's light bound, let's do it. At least to conserve our healing wares. I'm doing very poorly with my healing. I've got 2 potions left and 4 mega potions. Which of course is what happens when a monster deals so much of your health each time. There is obviously a risk of death, but more than anything else, if you're having to heal that much health every time you get hit, it means you'll be expending more healing wares than ever. I'm stuck in a combo, I can't do anything there. There's nothing I can do. Fucking go. You refuse to find a Brachy without a lance or a bowgun. Oh dear. I suppose that's fair. I'm being fucking flinched by an Uroktor. Oh, never mind, I didn't even have potions on hand. I'd used them all. Fuck off, Uroktor. You fool. Okay. Now that I think about it, Potato, this location is probably not too familiar to you. Because I don't think you've played 3rd gen, and this is a location unique to 3rd gen. So yeah, there you go. This is the volcano. This is the real volcano to me. I love its design. It's probably the best designed volcano. In fact, it definitely is. The volcanic hollow of 4th gen is fucking disgusting. And I also hate the world volcano. I think that looks like shit as well. Well, it doesn't look like shit, it's just I don't think it's anywhere nearly as nicely designed as this particular map. Oh, that's right, Try was your first Monster Hunter. Excuse me. Excuse me. Although, to my memory, you didn't play much of it. Still. At least you can say Try was your first. Everyone's sharpening up and getting ready to continue. If we can succeed with this quest, that would be great, but I'm almost out of potions. I don't know how you guys are going, but this would have been a better time for Pitfall. I'll drop a Pitfall. Let's hope we can still get a good result out of this Pitfall. Quick, Vernon, get in here. As soon as you can, man. Got a trap very soon. And he's in it. Probably should have checked to see if you were even here before dropping. But I was just aiming for that opportunity to drop it by the feet while he was doing his stationary animation. That wasn't too bad at all. That was pretty good timing. Or pretty good. It was a good length of time that he was stuck in the trap. There we go. To use the word timing correctly in the English language, of course. I really don't have much purple sharpness on these blades, do I? Oh dear. Oh, you put 2,000 hours plus in Try, so you played about as much as I did. That's awesome. That's really good. Well, it's very strange to, with that in mind, hear you be so corrupted by a world. I mean, when you first started watching my videos, you were very world-focused in terms of your, I don't know, perception of Monster Hunter. 2,000 hours of Try is enough to turn you into a real traditional Monster Hunter freak, like it did me. Well, I can certainly relate to that. It was a very easy game to play a lot of, because it really was just an amazing community. And I was in the European servers, but every person that I've spoken to who was on the US servers can say that they had a great deal of enjoyment in the US servers as well. I'm assuming you were in the European servers, Potato? What was your name in-game? We might have met. I was Lerdzer, Lerdxer. We may have played together. I mean, that would stand to reason. Look how quickly that happens. It happens instantly, just like that. I mean, we did well. We did really well. And let me tell you, I wasn't just not paying attention in that moment. That was a combo attack, and it got both of us. Vernon was hit by the one that I managed to avoid, but he did 3 attacks in total that really comboed us there. And I got hit by the 3rd in the end. So that's the thing, if you get caught in a combo, that's it. If you're able to just take a single hit and get away, all good. At least assuming that you don't run out of healing wares eventually and all of that, but as far as getting comboed, that's it. You've failed, basically. But I think we did alright. I've seen worse attempts. Ken says, nice to meet you, and now he says thanks for hunting. I hope you realise, Vernon, that by posting that quest, you basically destroyed this room. We had a nice group, and then you posted that, and it was over. But your name was Bacon in Try. I don't want to... I feel like I recognise that name. Bacon. The people that I remember in the European servers were Stuart. Stuart was a very good friend of mine. We used to play a lot, and we used to chat all day. Vangus, he was Hunt Rank 999. I think there was Incognito, or was it Anonymous? Maybe it was Anonymous. He was high Hunt Rank, he was like in the 700s or so. But yeah, I would guarantee that we would have played Potato. If you played 2000 hours of Try and you were on the European servers, we would have played, without a doubt. But, yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm being given nullberries, am I? That's good. The only 3rd gen game you got your hands on was Portable 3rd? Beta? That's cool. Because Portable 3rd's a really, really good game. For a long time, people said that was the best of the 3rd gen games, and most people probably feel that way. But, yeah, it's starting to look like I'll have to farm these nullberries, isn't it? If I can purchase them at any point, Vernon, I'll give these back to you. Probably twofold. But, yeah, it's not looking good. But I feel like I have never farmed nullberry. You know what, maybe I never bought them, maybe I gathered them from the Elatrion area. Maybe that's how I always got my nullberries. But yeah, maybe I will have to farm them. Okay, I don't know if I have any gratuities that would work for that. Well, Vernon, I'll be back in just a moment. I will plant my stuff. Give me just a moment to do that, and I'll be back on. Because, unfortunately, I do have to disconnect to go back to Moga Village, but that's alright. Vernon, I can completely relate to that. I felt very much the same way. Vernon, why do I keep calling you Vernon? Potato. I do completely relate to that. I think part of the reason why is because it's not your name anymore, Potato, so, it's Fat Nugget 56 instead. But I completely relate to what Potato's saying. He says that he didn't touch Monster Hunter out of pure spite until World came out, and I was very, very angry when the Try server shut down, because playing Try for 2000 hours was a big deal. There was no content in that game. It was an amazing experience because it was more community-based than anything else. And, quite frankly, we felt kind of left behind, and oh god, there's my honey box. You can tell I never go to the farm. I'm literally sitting here, like 1,200 hours in this game, and I'm getting a cutscene in the farm. So that's how often I go to the farm, ladies and gentlemen. Ingredient level up. Okay, I'd like to cultivate nullberries, please. And I do have fertilizer. I have fertile mud, in fact. We're gonna fertile mud the fuck out of that. I need lots of nullberries, please. And thank you, Vernon, for supplying me with the nullberries to do it. Very good. God, I haven't farmed in this. I don't think I've really farmed at all in this game. It was only in Try when I was farming. So it feels really, really weird to do this again. Talk to the cat. Oh, I can do it through the cat, can I? I didn't realise. Oh well. Too fucking bad. Too bad. I'm doing it the long way, I guess. It's more of an experience like this, isn't it? I didn't realise that I could cultivate from a distance. I had no idea. But it makes sense, because it saves you from having to disconnect to interact with the farm. Because doing online quests does actually count for working on the farm. At least that was what I understood from Try. So, I guess it would make sense for you to be able to interact with the farm from a distance, therefore. Same with the boats? Shit. It's weird how I never bothered to check that. Why is no one joining your room? Oh dear. Some person is looking to farm a Latreon at G rank level, which I'm sorry to see. Well, it's a shame that that group just got nuked, but maybe we can get some more people. It's just unfortunately we can't really rotate through as many people in this small community. I think the lighting's fine, I just need to keep my white balancing in check. Alright. Low rank Goebel. Very well. Very well. Yeah, Try's online experience, for anyone who was there and experienced Try, nothing comes close to it. Nothing comes even close. Of course it's getting super bright. I can't believe this weather, man. Like, how can I possibly record like this? It's just... it's fucking impossible. Alright. Now, this shouldn't... I mean, it's probably going a bit far to just turn off the light, but... anyway. Yeah, maybe that's going too far. I'll turn it on just a little bit. Sorry, guys. That should be good. Okay. So, we will go Thunder, of course, for Goebel. And in terms of what weapon, I suppose it will be the Nether Confidence, which is obviously overkill for a low-rank Goebel, but whatever. Let's fish him out. I'll get a frog. I'll put it in my inventory. I won't bother gathering it in the area. Of course, gathering the frogs isn't too hard at all, but I'll take one. And I'll fish him out. You're going to mine on this quest? Yeah, that's right. You do need Pelagisite. Which works out, because in the end, I can just solo this monster. Alright. I will eat, just to keep up the habit. Alrighty, off we go. We are going to hunt a good old-fashioned Goble. I haven't fought Goble in quite a while. I don't know when I last did. It's probably about a year and a half ago, which is crazy to think about. And then, at that point, that was probably the first time in like a year that I'd hunted him, and then again it would have been a year. In other words, I hunt Goble like once a year. That's what we're saying here. I'm just taking the paintballs. Oh, he took a paintball. He probably needs paintballs too. I don't really have many. Got 46. Yeah, I'm keeping the voucher. Well, anyway. Let's go and find our friend, Mr. Goble. Suppose we'll go through Area 7. And then to 4, and then we'll fish him out. It's too fucking dark, isn't it? Because, it's, again, the light is waning. I'm sorry to do this to you guys, I really am, but you can see the fucking difficulty that I'm dealing with here. Alrighty. Now, I'm being assaulted by Ludroth, which is annoying. Sorry about the sounds of my boom stand. My boom stand, when it is moved, is kind of noisy. Fucking hell. This is why I hate live recordings, man. I fucking hate live. Oh, anyway. Shut up, Doomling. Well, if you've never played World Beta, but you've played all of those, consider yourself better off than me, because I have had the unfortunate experience of playing Monster Hunter World, and I really would rather not have played it, to be completely honest. Would have rather not. I hope I haven't been too slow. Oh, he is still in this area, good. Well, I'm glad. If you haven't played stories, you're not a true Monster Hunter fan. Yeah, I suppose. I suppose. Oh, look at these beautiful weapons. Oh, they're so nice looking. Vernon, you do have places to mine in Area 3 for Palakasite as well, you know. Unless you did go there, but I didn't see you go there. There's probably one place, but... I do much prefer fighting Goble on land, of course, because he's an absolute nightmare underwater. Try to cut that tail if we can. Yeah, that tail is really annoying because it does that. And it really has a wide area of effect. Yes, of course it's my favourite game. It is absolutely my favourite game, yes. Clearly. Okay. You got all your ore? That's good to hear. Get that damn tail. He's gonna do his... Oh. He's doing this business, is he? Someone needs to tell him that he's still pretty damn visible when he does that. The most annoying thing to break in the entire series is probably the Goble Lantern. Because if you want to break it, you really want to do it underwater. And you can imagine just positioning yourself perfectly to hit that stupid lantern underwater. The only time you can really hit it consistently is if you have him like this, where he is weak and his lantern drops to the ground. I think if you shock trap him, his lantern goes down. It's either Pitfall or Shock, but... yeah. Hunting a low-rank monster with G-rank materials, or G-rank gear should be a crime, yeah. Well... look, I didn't ask for a low rank to be posted. You can get Pelagocyte from hiring. Anyway. The thing is with Goebel, he's fast to kill anyway. He never lasts long. Oh dear. Okay. Goebel Whisker. We can replace the map because I don't think we're going to get much use out of that after the quest. Here's some Epioth. This is a monster that you just don't find outside of the underwater games because they are underwater monsters. I'm sorry. That wasn't very nice, was it? I didn't need to kill you. I just did it because I felt like it. Oh, and then that Epioth is probably attacking me. It's like hunting ducks with an Apache helicopter. Yeah, it is. Or Apache attack helicopter. Can't read today, apparently. I don't have much low-rank Goebel stuff. That much is apparent. Well, I'm glad we got that taken care of. So now you can make the sword and shield, I think you said. Which is good. Okay. Angel Anna. Or Angela Anna. I don't know what kind of name that is, but it's not English, whatever it is. It's probably Spanish. But anyway. Don't put away the max potions, what are you doing? Do I have... I do have life powders, they must be over here, yeah. Excellent. Okay. I mean, it could be Angel Iana, but I don't think so. I would say it would be Angeliana. 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 Oh, that sounds a bit Italian, doesn't it? But that's just how I'm saying it. Oh, what? Oh, Hunter rank 0? Hunter rank 0? I didn't even know there was Hunter rank 0. I swear to God I did not know there was Hunter rank 0. I guess that means you haven't even spoken to the guy. Hunter rank 0. I can't believe what I'm seeing. How many of you have ever seen a Hunter rank 0? This is my first time. I've never seen one before. I thought the lowest you could possibly be was 1. But I guess if you've never spoken to the guy, like this guy here, you probably don't receive a Hunter rank. Do I have any Switch Axe sets? I don't really make sets specifically for Switch Axe. It's one of those weapon types that really doesn't, it doesn't need special skills for it. I have certain armor sets that are just general use Blade Master sets, and I use Longsword and Switch Axe with those. Sometimes dual blades, but not really in... Well, I guess in this game I do use dual blades with generic... I'm saying Sword and Shield. But yeah. Switch Axe? No, I don't really have Switch Axe sets. I would use Switch Axe with this set, this set, this set, and anything else? No, just that. I suppose I should use Switch Axe, shouldn't I? Where's my water Switch Axe? It is Demon Bind, I believe, if it's still called that. I would like raw resistance. I think I'll go with this set this time. It is Celestial Demon Bind. That's cool. But you can see, I mean, look at the textures on this fucking thing. Look how awful they are. The best textures were in Tri, if you can believe that. The highest resolution textures for all the games, 3rd and 4th generation, that was Tri. And this is disgusting. This is one of the problems with this game. They don't actually use the Tri textures, they just use the 3DS textures for the weapons, and it's a problem. It really is. You figured out how to kick players? Yeah. That's one of those situations where you just have to do it. Unfortunately, I mean, the guy's huntering 0. I can't believe that he's 0. I mean, you realize what you just did, don't you, Vernon? This guy has just entered the online for the first time ever, and he just got kicked, and you were the one who did it. Hope you feel good about yourself. No, but, I would have kicked him personally if he was taking up a slot, but... Oh dear. It is what it is. I'm happy to two-man this, really, if no one's gonna join, but... Can I get 3 stars on this bread? I feel like I can, but I don't have it. What have I not done? It's probably some offline shit, I don't know. He should be able to do low rank by himself. Come back in high rank and I'll play with him. This is true. This is true. Gonna go on Reddit and rant about how toxic the 3 Ultimate community is. Oh dear. Yeah, maybe it was Gaijin Hunter. What if you just kicked Gaijin Hunter? No, he would have said, Gaijin Hunter here, ready to hunt. Imagine how funny that would be. Yeah, exactly, Vernon. I do the same thing. I'm not willing to help people until I've got myself sorted out in a Monster Hunter game. Because the thing is, when I'm at endgame, all I do is help people. Why would I help people when I don't have shit sorted out for myself yet? That's the way I look at it. Because at this Hunter rank, I don't really have... Like, at this point in the game, I almost don't have anything to work on myself. The only monsters that I really want to hunt right now are Elatrion, Abyssal Laggy, things like that. Outside of that, I don't really have a reason to hunt for myself, so I'm pretty much only helping people. So... I like this guild card title. Nocturnal Till Starstruck. I think that's a cool name. I was just going through the titles and I found that and I thought that'd work nicely. Nocturnal Till Starstruck. Actually, I would make my my bow before making my gun lance, which means I probably need like 2 or 3 dynamos, which is fucking annoying because I've acquired so many dynamos in this fucking game. I've only done 1,040 hours in this game. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for misleading you by saying I had done 1,100 or 1,200. But, yeah. I really haven't played much of this game, and the reason why was because I really burnt myself out in Try. By the time I played this game, I was not willing to put the same sort of time into it as I had put into Try. And it shows, but at least I'm still decently far through it. And you know what, it's not over. This character isn't a thing of the past. I'm still working on it today. So, you know, I'll get to Hunter rank 400 soon, without a doubt, and maybe I'll have all the weapons I could possibly want. I'm still not quite at that point yet, as I've just discovered because I don't even have a Thunder gun lance, but yeah. Let's go. Let's two-man this bastard. I have Capture Guru, so we don't have to worry about the capture being a difficult process or anything like that. Yeah, the resolution of this switch axe is pretty fucking bad. Pretty fucking bad. But yeah, this is just a standard Blade Master set. We've got Critical Eye +3, High Gradient Plugs, and Mind's Eye, with Capture Guru slapped on through the Talisman, I believe. It is Perception +10, Dragon Res +1. So, yeah, this was what I'm wearing right now, I swear to you, was my first G-Rank armor set. And I still have it, because it's actually pretty functional. I made this when I was probably Hunter rank 6. So, it's been sitting on this character for 7 years. 7 years I've had this armor set. So, yeah. Well, more like 6.5. It's been a while. Oh, that's right, I do have high grade like silly me. I'm positioning myself for a raw flinch. Next thing you know, I'm not getting flinched at all. It just feels so wrong to use a water weapon against a monster in the tundra, but it's not like his elemental weakness changes when he's in a different location. It'd be fun. Wouldn't that be interesting? That would be such an interesting idea. You know, I'm not a game designer, but fucking hell, I come up with ideas that Capcom really could use sometimes. And one of them is a monster that changes its elemental weakness based on its location. It doesn't really, you know, and beyond that, that's just as far as using a weapon against the monster. In terms of how the monster looks, it could change depending on the location that it's in. So if it's in the volcano, it turns a bit red. If it's in an ice location, it sort of turns icy. And not do it in a subspecies sort of way. Have it be the way the monster works. Like, have that be built into the lore. A monster that can adapt to its environment whenever it wants to. You know, we have monsters like Deviljho and Brachydios that really don't have a home. They can just go wherever they want. But imagine a monster that really well and truly adapts to that environment and can actually take damage to certain elements when they have adapted to the environment, rather than just a monster that isn't affected regardless by extreme cold or extreme heat. Yeah, Deviljho breaking into that secret area in this game, I mean, that was amazing. That was really good fun. And you know, the Doba set was actually good in Tri, so it was worth getting those Dragonbone relics. That was so fun. Yeah, Tri was a special time. Getting away from Mr. Angry Brachydios here. We'll probably capture this one, to be honest. Just because, you know, if we get the capture out of the way first, it's just easier. I'm really not doing well with that paintball. Oh dear. The sad thing is that I still haven't picked up a ruby in all this time, or a gem I should say. You can see I'm waiting for the opportunity to go in for an attack and it's just not happening. Now it's happening. It's funny, my oldest recording of this game was about 2013. It's not on YouTube, but I do have it on my PC somewhere. And I was ranting about the French players because I'm telling you. Ugh. That was the topic of the day. That was the topic du jour. Just to keep it French-based. I was fucking livid with the French players, man. Because every time I joined a room with the French players, it was over. It was quest fail. Time to fail. That's what happened every time I was with the French. And I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for the French to play like that. I certainly would love it if the French could play well, but they just somehow were not able to. I don't know why. But for some reason, they just don't play properly in Monster. And we're talking people who had experience. They weren't just like inexperienced hunters, they were like much higher rank than I was. That's not to say that they had more experience than me, because of course I did play a lot of Tri and other Monster Hunter games prior to playing 3 Ultimate, but you know, they themselves at least had enough experience in this game to play better than what they were, and they really weren't. And to reflect that, I haven't even seen a French player in this game in like 2 years. So they're all gone now. But yeah, probably more than 2 years to be honest. Because 2 years ago was 2019. Oh, can you believe that? 2019 was 2 years ago. Shocking. Anyway. If you want perfect lighting, everyone, it's right now perfect lighting. Just lovely, just perfect. If all of my recordings could look like this, I'd be so happy. But it's not that easy. Maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. Well, alright, let's look out for that capture, shall we? No, don't do that. Do that. Gotta watch that paintball. I don't think we're doing so well that he's just on the edge of death, but I just mean that I should be paying attention. The French moved to 4 Ultimate. It's not true. It's not true. Well, maybe they are still on 4 Ultimate. I haven't touched the 4 Ultimate community recently. But the French were in both simultaneously, I can tell you that. Because when 4 Ultimate came out, obviously it was filled with French. And it was the same with 3 Ultimate. And they were in both. I cannot speak to whether or not they're still there, because I moved my 4 Ultimate character to PC 2 years ago, and I wasn't playing online at all. Like, the last time I played online in 4 Ultimate was in like 2016, and that was not regularly. I hadn't played regularly since maybe 2015. So, yeah, I've got no idea what's happening now. To my understanding, the 4 Ultimate community is filled with a bunch of cheaters who are modding their saves and making custom quests that give them all sorts of ridiculous shit. So, yeah. It was too easy to mod. It was because of Dazding. Dazding created a custom quest system that allowed you to basically give yourself whatever you wanted. And, yeah. That kind of ruined it, but... And because Dazding was so easy to set up, it just changed the landscape of 4 Ultimate as a game, community-wise. I mean, there were people who were turning up. I swear to you, this was back in the beginning of 4 Ultimate. There were people turning up into rooms with event armor for event quests that hadn't been released yet. Some of them were like 6 months away from being released, and people were turning up to rooms with armor sets from those event quests. It was ridiculous. But that was 4 Ultimate. And I guess it's just because people found out ways to exploit it very early on, because it was just easy to do. And there's a little bit of that in this game as well. It was in Try, it was in this game. Not early on in this game, but by about 2017 people were modding this game. Maybe even 2016. But 4 Ultimate was very early on. Like, as soon as it came out, yeah. People were cheating quite heavily. And it was sad. Because obviously it just totally defeats the purpose, you know, a game series like Monster Hunter where putting the time into your character and building it up into something, you know, the more time you put into a character, the better your character's going to be, obviously, but more than that, you've got something to show for all that time you've spent. And because you've spent so much time, it has value. It has amazing value. Every time you go into that character, you can understand, wow, I've put so much time into this, and this is what I have to show for it. It's capturable, by the way, Vernon. We're going to drop a trap. I'm going to put down a shot. I don't actually have a pitfall shot, so I hope you've got a trap in case he leaves. Ah, very good. Okay, so... yeah, the point is that if you cheat, one of the major aspects to Monster Hunter that really makes it replayable, really gives it value to you as a person, is lost. I mean, what's the point, really? Maybe some people just want to hunt and have everything that they could possibly want to hunt, but the thing is, working for that is really the whole point of Monster Hunter. Do I have Psychoserums? I do. Let's find where he is. He's just down in Area 2. What I believe to be Area 2 anyway. Or is it Area 1? Could be Area 1. It's probably 1. Anyway, let's sharpen up, and we will also need to drink a hot drink. You don't have traps? That's alright. We won't need it for this monster. It would help, I guess, but we'll be okay. We broke everything except the tail, which is fine. I mean, cutting the tail does help, but... in fact, that's probably more important than getting the fists, isn't it? But it's hard to get the tail, really. Unless you've got a trap. Because this monster moves a lot. Let's do one of these babies. I've done this recently. Very cool. Now I can actually go into axe mode, which I haven't done for this entire fucking hunt because there's just been no reason to. I've just been charging up. I've been reloading my switch axe to go back into sword mode quite frequently, so haven't had a reason to go into axe mode. It's getting really fucking bright. Oh my god. Fuck off, son. Fuck off. Ooh, I still wasn't able to clear that. That's very annoying. Alright, catch you later, Beta Stars. Good to see you again. And I now know how to say your fucking name. Which also helps. I ran out of stamina there. Or at least I felt as if I couldn't use the rest of my stamina. I don't know if it was in the red in that moment, but I had identified it as such, so I just took the hit. Uh-oh. Whoa! That was a situation where they just didn't let me do a Superman dive. Which happens sometimes. That was a rare upswing from Doomlin. It's a way of demonstrating a desire to cut the tail. Don't hit me. It's going to be a problem if you hit me at this health. Oh my god, that was scary. Kind of tempted to... no, I'll just use the rest of my Mega Potions here. I'm not going to waste life powders. Not until I really need it. I was also considering using a Max Potion, but... no, I will save that for a death scenario. I'm doing terribly for healing wares this time around. I blame Switch Axe for just being a bad weapon type. It's easier than blaming myself for not using Switch Axe well, I suppose. I think Vernon's really aggressively trying to get that tail. I would help, but I'm afraid to sacrifice DPS for it. Because when you're chasing that fucking tail, it really does hamper your DPS. And if we're two-manning, I don't want to sacrifice DPS for any reason. Oh dear. That's a nasty combo right now. Are you leaving? Yes, you are. What is my sharpness here? I don't have purple sharpness. So, there you go. I don't know if supplies have been delivered or not. I'm just going to assume that they haven't been, so I'm going to move on. I'm just going to keep fighting the monster. You're done with Iceborne? What do you mean by that, A-Gaming? Are you sick of it, or are you at a point in Iceborne now where you... oh. Good fucking riddance, wow. Oh man. So, did you progress to a point where you really didn't need to do any more, or are you just at your wit's end with it and you've just stopped playing? What's happened, A-Gaming? I need an update. I knew you played, but I didn't really remember that you had a specific opinion about it. Negative or positive. I just finished it, I collected everything and slayed every monster. Well, there you go. There you go. If you've done that, then you can say you've done Iceborne and you can leave it alone. I have no desire to even say that I've done Iceborne, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to play it. Overall review, 6 out of 10. Sounds accurate. Basically, all 6 points are everything that was retained as far as the Monster Hunter formula was concerned, and then the rest was just, you know, shit. Sadly, I am out of healing wares, because I suppose I'm playing like shit. But I think I have a solution. Sorry to do this to you, Vernon, but I have to return to camp. Because I'm not in a good way. I'm blasted, I'm at like a third health, and I've got no healing wares. But hey, we've got some in the box. I'm gonna take these paintballs, I've got some hot drinks to take as well, I've got some rations. We're going to save our healing wares by sleeping in the bed. Vernon's soloing the monster because I'm an asshole, and life goes on. Yeah, on to Rise. You've put Iceborne to bed. So now you can go and enjoy Rise, and I'm sure you will enjoy it more than you enjoyed World, that is to say, Iceborne. Because I think I will. Whether or not I'll actually enjoy it, I couldn't say, but I think I will, no matter what, like it more than I liked World. But how much I like it will definitely determine whether or not it's worth buying on PC. We'll see. Maybe it will be. Part of me doesn't want to do it all over again, but PC's almost worth it. It's almost worth it. So I think I would do it if I liked the game, but I might not like the game. It seems like they're bringing back the world skill system, they're bringing back the SOS system. So I don't think I'm going to like it. But and that is an exhausted Brachy right there. Oh, you cut the tail, nice work. I think I might have even seen you cut it. But I just was too busy talking, I guess. You're almost out of healing wares too. You didn't eat. Yeah. That's bad. It's bad times. I'm trying to get those fists. Damn, those fists are fucking resistant. There's one. I think that's going to be a limb. Yeah, that's a limb. I have to go carve that tail. Did I already carve it? No, I didn't. For a second I thought, well, there you go. Didn't even have to chase him into the other area. I'll probably go and gather some dragon bone artifacts. Of course, relic is the high rank, artifact is the G rank, and there are no dragon bone anything drops for, or bones I guess we'll say, for low rank. Oh, World is going to be very well supported for PlayStation 4 and Xbox, without a doubt. You mean you got another gem? Because I think you were looking for gems, weren't you? Or do you have 3 palliums as well? That's pretty crazy. So, oh, that's right, the... oh, whatever, I didn't manage to get to the dragon bone artifacts, but I probably don't need them, to be honest. That's weird. People, hey, I got a Brachy gem. That's my 3rd. I just got my 3rd gem. Oh, I see. So you've got 3 palliums and 2 gems, is that right? That's pretty good. That's not bad at all. That's my 3rd gem, and I've hunted a lot of Brachydios, so... yeah. That's a lot of cortexes, though. Check that out. Ah. Wow. Been live for 2 hours and 35 minutes. Doesn't even feel like it. I've been having so much fun in the game. Oh, didn't mean to put those away. Well, that's alright. I can sell them in the box anyway. Let's do that. You know what we could do, Vernon? I could host the room instead, and maybe people would be more willing to join. What am I doing? Did I just sell my potions? I'm so stupid. I just sold my potions. I somehow thought that I was in the take items screen and not in the selling items screen. I don't know why, but... yeah. But we could try having me host the room, and then maybe we might actually get some traffic in here. Because that would be nice. I'll call it helping a friend, or something. Oh no! I have to reconnect now. Vernon! Well, whatever. Oh well. Alrighty, so I don't think many people are playing right now, but we'll see what... I just want to see what people are doing in the rooms. This isn't good. Every person except for me is in a room. Oh no, I suppose I'm now the 10th person, so therefore only Vernon and I. Fuck. Akazaji, I guess he's saying he wants to hunt. But, well, let's try joining this guy. He probably doesn't have anything to do, Vernon. We'll join the Akazaji room with... I still don't know how to say his name. But if he's hunter rank 450, I don't think there are things that he wants to do. So, just post what you want. And if he gets to a point where he doesn't want to do what you want to do, then we'll make our own room. That's fine. And you never know, he might be well and truly AFK. Ooh, Sword Saint Earring. Fucking hell. That's a good set. I'd love that set. You know why? Because I was never bothered to get Arshan in this game. I only got it in Portable Third, actually. And Sword Saint Earring, oh, that requires arena questing. What's the weapon? Oh, it's that weapon, I see. It's got Slime Awaken. Check that out. I really like that set. 740 slime on a greatsword. Wow. Although, the problem with his set is that there's no focus, and there is no raw resistance, which is pretty sad. So actually, for a greatsword set, it's not very good. I mean, it's a great looking set, but overall, it's pretty unideal for greatsword. But yeah, Vernon, he's probably AFK. He will hopefully be back in the next 5 minutes, but... yeah, Monster Hunter 2 is something that I'll be playing at some point as well, A-gaming. Definitely take this as an opportunity to go and play the older games. I don't know when I'll get around to doing it, but... probably after I finish my work with Freedom. Because that's going to be taking up much of my time, I think. What is my water hammer? It's the Gen hammer, isn't it? Which is the no. Where is it? Here it is. Gen Moran hammer. Alrighty. I don't know if I really want to go hammer. No, I don't really feel like it. Not for Brachydios. Not for that monster. Let's not. We'll go greatsword. Yeah, that's fine. Believe me, I'm not a huge fan of doing Brachydios either, but I'm happy to help with whatever you need. There we go, Excalibur sword. I can actually use it this time. Last time I set up for this we were doing something else, I think. It's really annoying when people make rooms and they just don't check their game to see if anyone's joined. It's fucking stupid. Like, don't make the room then. You need to at least check every 2 minutes. I think we've been here for 4 or 5 minutes by now. Maybe 4 minutes, but... fucking hell. Just look. Well, we've done some Nagakuga and some Go Balls, so it hasn't only been Brachydios this recording. But, yeah, like I said, the Hunting with Purpose series is less about keeping it interesting and more about really working towards specific goals within the game that you would just... the sort of goals that you would work towards while playing normally. Doom Link's Life Hunts isn't really playing normally, it's just doing whatever. Yeah, all good. No rush, this guy's fucking... I don't know what he's doing, obviously not looking at the game. Wasting my time, and Vernon's time. You found your old recording of Demon Souls from 2009. My oldest Demon Souls recording is 2010. Good old camcorder on the television. Yeah, back then the only games I really recorded were emulated, because I didn't have a capture card, you see. Yeah, and the camera that I used was, well, it's very old now, but back then it was probably 10 years old. Maybe not 10 years old, maybe 8 years old or something like that. Point is, it was old. Like, if you think about it now, if 2009 was 12 years ago, that camera is getting on in years by now. So, good old 4:3 ratio, good old... It was digital, it wasn't a film camera, of course. Wasn't recording to tape, in other words. But, because they did have, towards the end of analog video, they did have, like, little videotapes, you know. But I wasn't recording to that, fortunately. Yeah, YouTube was better before merging with Google. But even in the early days of Google, it wasn't too bad. Things really went downhill around 2011, 2012. Like, really, like... It was sort of like that for a while, and then it plateaued, and then... around 2011, 2012 was like... It was a sad fucking time. Don't you miss the old channels? The old channels that you could customize fully. Have your own background, you... change the transparency of the wrapper, and you could change the font for the text on your page, change the color of it, change the color of everything. Really. Who would have thought that with the introduction of the one channel that would be the actual death of customizability of YouTube channels? What a fucking crying shame that was. And then everything else that went away. It's so funny to think back to when they removed the yellow subscribe button. Do you remember when they removed the yellow subscribe button? I mean, they used to have descriptions on the right side of the screen, and then they moved it to underneath the video, and I think at the same time they made the subscribe button just white instead of yellow. And I remember people were protesting it. People were commenting on videos like, give me likes for... This was when they introduced likes for comments, so probably like late 2008, something like that. Early 2009. But anyway, and they were saying, like this comment for bringing back the yellow YouTube button. We want the yellow subscribe button back. And looking back on it, it's like, fucking hell, if you knew what YouTube had in store for changes, the subscribe button being yellow is so fucking insignificant compared to what they actually had in mind. They completely destroyed YouTube, visually. Oh, Google Plus, where they forced you to have a name. Google, that was fucked. They actually made it so that... So, brand accounts were not originally a thing. So, you went from having a username to the Google Plus thing, where you actually had to have a first name and last name, and there wasn't a brand account option. Of course, brand account was designed to give you the option to have a username but in the Google Plus system, but it wasn't always there. For maybe 6 months, it had to be a first name and a last name. It was so fucking bad. So fucking bad. That was like 2013, 2014. What a fucking mess, man. Wow. What a fucking mess. I made this channel once brand accounts became a thing. Once you're actually able to make a fucking brand account instead of a first name and surname, I made this YouTube channel. I think it was April 2014. But, yeah, it looks like we have to two-man this one, Vernon. I can't fucking believe that this guy is still AFK, but hopefully when we come back he will have fucking returned. What a dick. What a fucking dick. I mean, we've been here for 15 minutes and he hasn't returned. What is he doing? It begs the question, why did he make a fucking room? It just wastes people's time. I mean, you have to it's okay if you go AFK. Of course you're going to go AFK. You're not just going to sit here staring at the screen the whole time. That's awful. But what you do is you check to see if anyone's there. You have to check. Otherwise, you're just wasting people's time. Because if they're investing in you returning and you just don't return, then what are they doing with their lives? Seriously. Konami destroyed your old account. I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't really do anything Konami based. I didn't actually record anything Castlevania based, for example. That would be one thing that is Konami based. But I don't think Konami was shitty with people doing Castlevania related stuff. I don't know what you would have done, but yeah, I haven't had any run-ins with Konami in my time. Feels good to greatsword again. I'll probably do a bit of greatsword, honestly. Damn. Yeah, I didn't have many copyright strikes with Let's Plays. I didn't have any, actually. Well, to be honest, when I was Let's Playing, this was prior to having copyright strikes. The only way that your video would be affected by copyright was if they removed the audio from it. That was when I was doing Let's Plays back in the day. I stopped doing Let's Plays between 2011 and 2012. So I guess 2 years I stopped doing it, which was when they made those changes. That was when they brought the strikes about. And then when I properly got into Let's Plays with this channel in 2014, I was doing Let's Plays on a different channel in 2013, but that didn't last because I didn't like the system, didn't like the channel, didn't like any of it. But, well, I'll get away from that. But yeah, that's when I was familiar with the strike system. But I was uploading music prior to that anyway, and I was getting copyright struck like crazy. But, yeah, that's, you know, heavy metal albums and stuff. I had a few channels I uploaded albums with, but, and many of them are still up to this day, because most of them were obscure demos that no one's going to make money off. But, yeah, the only time that I had issues with copyright recently was with Final Fantasy Crystal Bearers. There was a cutscene in the game, and I don't remember... God, who was it again? Square Enix. Square Enix decided that this cutscene could not be shown on YouTube. They owned it and they didn't want anyone to see it. Now, why they would decide to not allow a cutscene from a game from 10 years ago at that time, this was last year, and that's a 2010 game, from 10 years ago, they don't want people to even see the cutscene. I don't know why they would decide that I'm not allowed to show that on YouTube. You know, I'm not making any money from it, and I'm certainly not affecting their profits. You know, a 10-year-old fucking game, Final Fantasy Chronicles The Crystal Bearers, I mean, who the fuck is buying that? They're not making any money from that fucking game, and I'm certainly not making money off their stuff. So, what the fuck? I was not able to show that video because it had that cutscene in it. And at that point, I cancelled the Let's Play because I was like, well, I'm not going to continue after that. Because what if the final cutscene of the game is also copyrighted, and it's just going to be a waste of time? It was ridiculous, you know. So Square Enix, bunch of fucking idiots as well for doing that. A lot of the Japanese companies are like that. We notice it with Nintendo because they're the biggest Japanese company that we deal with. But it's like that way, it's that way with most of them. Most of them are just really inept when it comes to getting with the times. They just don't realize that we're not out to make money off their stuff. And certainly, something like a fucking Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Crystal Bearers cutscene is not to be held so close to the chest that it couldn't possibly be viewed for free on a platform. Like, what a joke. Oh, believe me, Konami are still a bunch of dicks, gaming. You look at anything to do with Konami presently, they are still a bunch of dicks. A bunch of dicks. But, you know, what can you do? What do you mean Bethesda is now officially owned by Microsoft? Oh, I see, so the acquisition hadn't actually taken place until now. Well, there you go. Possibly the end of Elder Scrolls, or maybe it's a good thing, I've got no idea. All I can say is that I don't want Microsoft to fuck with Elder Scrolls by doing anything proprietary, like making it Xbox exclusive, or making it exclusive to a specific launcher, or anything like that. If they do that, then they can fuck off. I won't even play Elder Scrolls 6, it won't happen. But, yeah. I don't want any proprietary nonsense. None of that. It's not happening. If they do any of that, I'm not playing it. Will it affect mod support? I don't know. That would be pretty fucking stupid to hamper mod support, given the longevity of Skyrim purely through the mod community. Zaki is in the room, which is cool. Hopefully he sticks around, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't know what the acquisition of Bethesda means for the Elder Scrolls series. I really don't know. I suppose they acquired ZeniMax Media, didn't they? And so therefore that branches out to Bethesda. Fuck off, Zaki, are you stupid? Like an asshole. This is one of those people who really doesn't want to wait. What are you gonna hunt? Fucking nothing instead? Oh, these people are on a quest, so I guess I'll join a room where I can't hunt anyway. Anyway. And that's why I said to a specific launcher, you know, what if it comes to PC but it's not through Steam? That's my concern. Game Pass subscriptions, fucking hell. Well, anyway. I hate Microsoft. I really, look, Bethesda was doing bad shit, like they were doing dumb things, they were milking the fuck out of Skyrim. Elder Scrolls Online is generally just a waste of time. Although that's more ZeniMax Media than Bethesda. I don't even think Bethesda was involved in Elder Scrolls Online. I think that was purely ZeniMax Media. But either way, that IP is just being milked currently. If that IP wasn't being milked, we would have had Elder Scrolls 6 like 3 years ago. So, yeah. The last Elder Scrolls game came out 10 years ago. So, well, no. Came out a bit less than that, but the point is that, you know, over 9 years and we haven't had a new Elder Scrolls game. And the reason why is because they're milking the fuck out of it. Which is not the way you do it. That's not how you win over a fan base. That's not how you keep fans. Certainly not. Well, that's a dead monster right there. At least we got the tail. Let's try for the capture next. We'll see what we can do. As I said before, ideally you would capture the first and then it's over and done with it. You don't have to worry about capturing next time, but hopefully we can capture the next one. Games as a service is killing gaming in general. I can't comment on that for the reason that I don't really play modern games, so games as a service isn't something that I've engaged with personally. So, but I think there's probably look, I don't have anything to say about it, but I do agree with your sentiment. I do agree that it probably is killing gaming. Of course it would. But I can't add any points to that. So, yeah. Oh, Morrowind is a beautiful thing. Just a beautiful thing. Daggerfall as well. Daggerfall and Morrowind are just... oh. The thing about Morrowind is that it perfectly captured... he's just south of where I am, Vernon. He's Area 1. If it is Area 1, if I'm correct about the area number. But, Morrowind... there's something extremely special about that game. It's almost untouchable. There are problems with it, of course. When it first came out, this is something that people are bothered by to this day, for very good reason. But it was a problem when it first came out as well. It's the fact that you move so fucking slow in the start. You, of course... oh, look, Zaki is back. As I said, he's leaving just to do what? Fucking hunt nowhere? Anyway, yeah, you have to put points into your... whatever it was. It wasn't speed. It might have been speed, but I think it was a different stat. The point being that you really had to put points into a specific stat before you could actually move at a decent speed. And people really were bothered by that at the time, and it does make it hard to get into. One thing that I do also dislike about Morrowind is the dice roll combat mechanics, because it doesn't work with those kinds of 3D graphics. It works alright in early 3D, but by the time you're getting into Morrowind, where it's very clearly a situation where the sword is moving through the monster, or through the enemy, and you're not dealing any damage because it's dice roll based, it's a bit awkward. So I actually play with an Oblivion mod in Morrowind where the dice roll is damage, not whether or not you hit the monster. The dice roll is purely how much damage you're going to do with each hit. So in other words, you are guaranteed to hit the monster each time, and that's the way I play. Fuck off, Zaki, you dickhead! I hate this guy. He keeps leaving and rejoining and leaving and rejoining. Well, I guess he's technically only rejoined once. He came once before and then left. And now he's back again. Fucking dick. Just stick around and you... These are the sorts of people who really annoy me. They just don't want to wait to actually hunt. He came here because there's nowhere else to go. In both scenarios. And now he's left a third time. He's a fucking idiot. Anyway. Oh, Morrowind on mobile is awesome. I heard that there was actually a mobile Morrowind because Jenny was playing it apparently, and I hadn't heard of it until she said she was playing it. I thought she was emulating it. But no, it's actually on mobile, which is weird. But, I don't know why you would want to play it there. It's a PC game, you play it on PC, man. It's just such a lovely game. The music, the feel, the way it looks, even, is just perfect. Just a lovely game. Oblivion was too ambitious for the time. Ended up being a bit rough around the edges in certain regards. But it was fun. I didn't like how they did combat. And it was the beginning of the end in that regard because Skyrim continued along the same lines. But Oblivion was a good game as well. Oblivion had the spirit that Skyrim lacked. Oblivion was the last game to really carry the spirit of Elder Scrolls. Skyrim was the Monster Hunter world of the Elder Scrolls series. The only thing that made it good was the mod community, really. It was a very good game. I mean, I love Skyrim. I hadn't really played the Elder Scrolls series until Skyrim came out. I always wanted to, but I hadn't personally. But I played Skyrim as my first proper Elder Scrolls. And then I went backwards, of course. And I realized that Skyrim really was not the essence of Elder Scrolls. Which is an important thing to come to realize. Well, apparently it is actually on mobile, A-Gaming. I don't think it's just for emulation. I think Jenny said she was playing an actual official download on it. I don't know. I have the Morrowind guidebook, you know. I've got the actual strategy guide. I've got the actual PC discs, like the CD-ROMs. I'll show it to you after this clip. Probably not the guidebook, I'd have to dig the guidebook out, but... Where is the guidebook? I think I've got it somewhere where I've got... I think it's in the same place where I have my Majora's Mask guidebook. Strategy guide. It's a very thick book, the Morrowind strategy guide. The last time I pulled it out on camera was when I was fighting... What's he called again? Something blank Ganon. The boss of Varnaboros. And I was saying it just works, and I was holding the Morrowind strategy guide, invoking the power of Todd Howard saying it just works. It was really weird, but I was on the brandy that night. But yeah, it was funny. And it was being recorded at night as well. Funny recording. What? Hopefully we don't accidentally kill him. Oblivion's your favorite. So you didn't mind the combat change? Where you're basically just spamming left click instead of actually doing a proper attack. Because prior to Morrowind, of course, you actually moved your mouse in the direction that you wanted to swing. Physically move your mouse, and then in Morrowind you actually had to hold the button so that you could charge up the attack a little bit. But in Oblivion you just fucking go swing your arm all over the place by spamming the click. Which was, yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that. But I guess if you go bow it's not a big deal. Oh no, 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 hey gaming. Don't hope for that. Don't hope for Elder Scrolls to be great and more alive than the previous games. Don't expect that. And don't hope for it, certainly. Because it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's going to be... What it will do is it will cater to the mainstream gamer. Now, what that means is that it is purely subject to what the mainstream gamer wants in the year that it releases. And you know what that's going to be. It's not going to be anything like Oblivion, it's not going to be anything like Morrowind, it's certainly not going to be anything like the 90s ones. So, it's not going to be good, whatever it is. I can tell you that. It's going to cater to the lowest fucking common denominator. I'm out of healing wares. This is not good. But yeah, it's not going to be good. Whatever it is, it's not going to be good. I wouldn't necessarily say that you should use Elder Scrolls Online as an example, but... Okay, well I died because I just didn't have any healing wares left. Yeah, don't expect too much. There is a much higher chance of Rise being an amazing game than Elder Scrolls 6 being good. Ah, let's go access that box. We can probably go for the capture very soon, Vernon. You don't have traps, but what I would say is that he's probably capturable. I haven't paintballed him, because I forgot that we needed to capture this one. But I think we're very close. Did he limp out of that area? Well, I'm about to find out because I'll be throwing a paintball. Let's cross our fingers for a capturable Brachydios. He's not capturable. Yeah. Well, he must be very close. What? I swear to you, that one attack that I just did brought him from not capturable to dead. One hit. Swear to you. Cross my heart. I was staring at that fucking paintball the whole time. And that one attack took him straight down. I can't believe that. That's actually shocking. Wow. Four palliums and 2 gems. Great. Deep Down? A Dark Souls clone that was cancelled, made by Capcom. Well, I don't think I want a Dark Souls clone. I think I'll stick with the Dark Souls game, or with the games of the Dark Souls series, or the Souls series in general. I think what I'd like is just to play Elden Ring. That's enough of a Dark Souls clone for me. And Elden Ring should be a good time sink, so I don't really want a Capcom Souls game. I can live without that. I hope you got a gem, Vernon. Did you get it in the reward? The rewards? Blah. I hope you do. You got it? Excellent. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? The Funk also remembers Deep Down. I never saw it, I don't think. Deep Down. What a terrible name for a fucking game. Deep Down. Well, anyway. Yeah, I mean, it might not be inherently bad. Maybe you say Dark Souls clone in a rather unaffectionate way, but it might actually be kind of decent. I mean, it's been 30 minutes, at least, since we joined this room, and this fucking dickhead is still sitting here, just like, as if nothing's going on. I mean, I hate this guy so much. I mean, why make a room, and then just go AFK, indefinitely? What a dickhead. It's a waste of time. And then that other guy, that Zaki guy, oh my god. What a fucking asshole. Can only expect so much of this community, I suppose. Well, at least Vernon's done with Brachydios for now. We definitely got a lot done there. What I was meaning to say, I think I got distracted by something else. I think it was what Funk said in the chat. But what I was going to say was that it worked out very, very nicely that the last quest that we were going to do for Brachydios actually got Vernon the last gem that he needed. 4 palliums and 3 gems. I mean, that's pretty damn good. He's going to be set for Brachydios for a while. In fact, it may very well be the case that rather than palliums and gems, he's going to need other stuff like pounders and tails and all that sort of business. I think he'll be alright for ebon shells by now. I love being here in game. I love just playing this. It's so good. The more I can play this game, the happier I am, because I can play it forever. You don't have enough for the bow? So what were you working on? Were you doing the dual blades? I know you had the long sword and the dual blades. Weren't you making the Kelby bow? You have all the materials you need? That's good. Well, thank God for that. Awesome. Yeah, I can post a green Nagakuga, which I believe has a primary weakness of fire as opposed to thunder, so... I keep going to say lightning because it's lightning in 3rd gen. Why, I don't know, but it is. But yes, fire, and I suppose I'll go sword and shield. I'll go element, And then sword and shield. And we'll use the... Rather than the Mornifestation, we will use the Golden Radius. It's just better defend, though. Better defense. Better sharpness for my lack of sharpness +1. Okay, why would you make the Brachy bow if you're making the Kelby bow? Because the Kelby bow is a slime bow, and the Brachy bow is a slime bow. But between the two of them, the Kelby bow is much better. For obvious reasons. I mean, you can take me on that journey, but... I think the Brachydios bow is also spread. To my memory... I didn't ban you from using it on my stream. I said I'd prefer it if you didn't, but if you really wanted to, then... Well, here's the thing, Vernon, if you really want to go slime bow, you can. Whether you use Kelby Deershot or Brachydios bow, it's still slime bow. So if you're going to use a slime bow, just use Kelby Deershot. I'm sorry if you interpret it as me saying that I've banned you from it. I said that I would prefer if you didn't, but at the end of the day, I can't dictate what you're going to do in your playthrough, so if you would like to do that, then we can go ahead with that. That's fine. You posted the deep down footage in the Discord? I probably will watch it after the stream. I probably won't watch it now. I hope you haven't actually started trying to upgrade that bow, Vernon. But... yeah. I wish we would have talked about that more. Had I known that you were making the Brachy bow in place of the... I mean, I probably read before... well... well, okay, use the Brachydios bow, sure. If it's, you know what, that's actually okay. That's actually alright, to be honest, because by what you've described, rather than the Kelby bow just being purely applying slime, the Brachydios bow actually does good damage on its own, because you charge it up, and you deal the damage with the actual arrows as well as the additional damage that you get from slime. So in other words, slime is being treated as additional damage rather than the whole point of the bow, which is how the deer shot works. Deep down reminds you of Demon Souls? Rightio. Well, there you go. Let's go with Brachydios bow then. That's fine, I'm happy with that. This guy hosting this room, I hate him. I've just arbitrarily decided that I hate him. Because I think it's been 45 minutes now, something like that. Fuck this guy. Oh yes, sorry, you said... oh dear. I'd completely forgotten that I was supposed to be posting Green Nagakuga. I'm sorry. I think it's here. Night Stalker, there you go. Alrighty. I was told to post Green Nagakuga, and then by the time I had changed weapons, I forgot what I was supposed to be doing. Alright. Let's go and make some more Mega Potions. I'm gonna need some more honey soon, but I will be buying it, I'm not farming for it. I haven't the time for that. Isn't that a lovely sound? Well, that's not really a good impression of the sound, but, you know, you are hearing it, I don't need to do an impression of it, but the point is that it's kind of unpleasant to the ears. What I don't understand about this guy is why he made the room, yet he's just gone and disappeared. The thing is, I'm not going to assume that he's gone and been stabbed by someone who's, you know, conducted a home invasion, or anything quite as extreme as that, because a lot of people do this. A lot of people just sit there, make a room, and go AFK for like an hour. Why? What about all the people joining in the meantime? It's stupid. It's actually a fucking joke. And it does annoy me. It really annoys me because I'd like to hunt with 3 people instead of 2. I don't have my... I don't have Kayamba with me. I don't usually use Cha-Cha. But... yeah, I don't have my Shakalaka. Because I was about to say I don't have my cat, my feline, and then I realised that it's 3 ultimates, so I wouldn't have a feline anyway, it would be a Shakalaka. I think I have a Vade Extender on this set just because of the fact that I've got a Latry on here. Yeah, Vade Extender. Which is pretty cool for Sword and Shield. It's good for evasion, obviously. And yeah, this is by far the best Sword and Shield for non-sharpness +1. Probably still better than the Morales Sword and Shield, even for sharpness +1, but anyway. Well, dear. Aha, Mind's Eye is doing work. Happy to see that. Because apparently I'm bouncing off the wings at white sharpness. Why that's happening, I don't know, but at least I've got Mind's Eye, so I don't have to really worry about it. He's going into an attack. Yes, he is. I sort of jumped into it assuming he wasn't going to, so I guess I didn't have much faith in my guess, or my estimate. Well. Yeah, I love Sword and Shield so much. I could use it forever. Mainly in 3rd generation, I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Maybe I wasn't bouncing off the wings. It looked as if I was. Maybe it was actually Vernon who was bouncing off the wings, and I thought it was me bouncing off the wings. It's possible. It's definitely possible. Yeah, this should not be a lengthy hunt at all. Now I'm bouncing off the wings. Out of interest, Vernon, why didn't you go Brachydios Longsword? Because even if it's high rank level, you would have ended up doing more damage just through the slime effect. Or through slime application. Because I don't think Green Nagakuga really takes damage from water at all. Let's go and sharpen that weapon there. Oh, he went in that direction. That's interesting. That's very interesting. You know what? I think that's worth a Psycho Serum. And then I'll... oh, wow, he went all the way over there. Okay, well, I'll paintball you, mister. If you're gonna be that fucking confusing. If you can hear a low-frequency rumble, that is a garbage truck in my street. Wow, it has almost 300 less raw damage. Yeah, 300... for inflated values is pretty fucking significant. I hadn't compared them, so yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh no, I won't get that head, I'll just shield that. Yeah, that's like a major low frequency rumble, like that's negative 35 dB of pure low frequency hum. It's quite significant. Well, anyway. You can enjoy a little bit of that. You might not even notice it very much, but I'd say you would have to. It's loud. But because it's so low frequency, you might not notice it as much. It's possible. So because I was pretty close to the monster there, I just healed with my weapon out. So that I wouldn't have to bring it out. Although, to be honest, it's really, with a weapon type like Sword and Shield, you're really not heavily inconvenienced by sheathing and bringing it back out, because it's such a quick process to bring it back out and to sheath it, so... yeah, I don't know. Using items with the weapon out really isn't that helpful. It'd be more helpful to do that with something like a switch axe or with a gun lance, you know, something that actually takes a long time to sheath. It's kind of weird. But I understand why they do it. It was a second gen thing that they introduced. I don't know which game did it. I don't know if it was 2DOS or Freedom 2 that did it. But, yeah, they made it so that you could use items with the weapon out. Get that face of yours. You're leading again. What's happening with you? That Margaret Cougar. What an asshole. To be honest, he is leaving areas very frequently. I don't know if he always does this or if I'm only now realizing it. But, it does make for a bit of extra effort. He's just returned to the same area that he was in before. I think that's a broken head, isn't it? He's got that scar on his eye, so I guess it's broken. I think there's only a single break for the Nagakuga head. Ouch. Out of interest, Vernon, what are you using as a controller? Are you using the gamepad? Maybe the Classic Controller Pro? Because I'm using the Classic Controller Pro, the very same one that I got for Try all those years ago. And I'm glad that I kept that. Because I could have very easily traded it in along with all of my Wii stuff back when I originally traded in my Wii, but for some reason I didn't do that. It stayed with me, and I'm glad that it did. It's honestly amazing to think that this is the same controller that I've played all these hours of Monster Hunter with. It's been like 3,300 hours of Monster Hunter on one controller. And it's amazing. Because I tried playing with the gamepad, I think before I even realized that the Classic Controller Pro could be used with this game. I didn't realize it originally, I just thought that it wouldn't be compatible. I think that was part of my lack of understanding of the Wii, like the Wiimote's compatibility with the Wii U. And then I just randomly tried it one day and it worked, and I was fucking shocked and excited. But prior to that I was using the gamepad and it just felt awful. It really didn't feel nice at all. It felt like complete shit. Because ergonomically, the gamepad just feels terrible. Oh, you play only on the gamepad, not connected to a TV, I see. Well, all I can say is that when I was playing on the gamepad, I really didn't enjoy it at all. It felt terrible. It's fine if you're playing portably, I guess, but if you're relying on it as a controller while looking at a television, it just doesn't feel right. You have large hands and the gamepad feels great. Okay. My hands aren't small. I've got, you know, probably above average sized hands, just not super large, but yeah. Like I can cover my whole face with my hand. Although I think that's normal, isn't it? I think your hand can always cover your face. If you've got a small hand, then you'll have a small face to match it. I think that's how that works, but that's a fucking that's an old joke, isn't it? I think they say you go up to a person and say, this is like very primary school sort of thing. You go up to a person and say, your hand is always the same size as your face, and then the person doesn't, and then you hit the hand, and then it flattens their nose. That only worked on me once, and then I learnt the lesson. But yeah. Look, I have reasonably sized hands, and I'll tell you what. Gamepad, fairly uncomfortable. But if it's comfortable for you, that's great. I just wouldn't want you to be uncomfortable. Oh fuck. Pressed the button just at the wrong time. Oh well. Well, be sure not to lose this save, Vernon, because you seem to be kind of good at losing your game saves. I don't know how that happens, but try to save this one somehow. How did you lose your original one? Because you just lost your Freedom Unite save after going back to it. You've lost your Generations Ultimate save. You had lost this one somehow. I was worried that you're going to lose this one as well at some point. I have to try to back it up in some way. I don't know. I'm worried for you. Ow. It's getting very, very bright outside. Just randomly. Can't control it. It's just decided to do that all of a sudden. So I'm gonna look like the second coming of Christ for the rest of this hunt, if you can forgive me. To be honest, this will probably be my last hunt, Vernon. I think I've done enough. I mean, we're sitting on about 3.5 hours of play. I think that will be sufficient. And I probably need to actually do stuff today. So, with that, I'll probably conclude it after this. And it's been good fun. I've had a lot of fun. I mean, it's been mostly Brachydios, but I'm just glad to be back in the game. This is a game that I love to play whenever I have someone to play with. And it's been the first time in a while that I've had someone to play with, so I'm enjoying it. Hopefully you get the fangs you need. Oh, what the hell, of course you would catch me there. That would be the geography of the area working against me. Oh shit. I was worried about getting caught by them. I'm amazed that this thing's still fucking alive. You must be very close to limping. Unless Vernon's really not doing too much damage, which he might not be, but it is the best thing he's got on hand at the moment. Sharpening back up to white. I need as much damage as I can get at this point, I think. Aim for the back legs, maybe get a knockdown. There's a follow-up there, yep. Shielding for good measure. Hoping for that limp fairly soon. Oh no. What happened there? Oh, that wasn't even a disconnect, was it? Or it must have been a disconnect. because I'm no longer connected to the game. Well, that's a real shame, isn't it? What a time to disconnect. I guess at least we're 15 minutes in. That's a good thing. Yeah, I mean, clearly I did disconnect because I can't access the room chat anymore. Well, I'm sorry about that. But, oh, you know what would have happened? Do you know what would have happened? Oh my god. So, that fucking dickhead who hosted that room and decided that he was going to sit there and go AFK in that room for an hour, probably more, because he was likely in there AFK for a while before we even got there. He finally decided to just close the room. You know, he would have come back, he would have seen that we were on a quest, and he just decided to close the room. So it actually ceased our online communications. What a fucking dickhead. Prick. Absolute moronic asshole of a human being. Fuck that person. He comes back. I mean, we've been here for like 50 minutes to an hour, probably an hour at this point we've been in his fucking room. And he comes back and we're in a quest, and then he goes and closes the room. Oh, you lost your saves because you sold the consoles. I see. I see. Well, good. I was worried that there would have been something else at work. I can't fucking believe... This is really annoying. I mean, I don't mind finishing this quest solo, it's just the fact that he's somewhere that I'm not familiar with. Like, I don't know where he is. Oh, he went to the fucking... He went to his weak area, it seems, but I don't think he limped out. He might have limped out, I didn't notice him limp if he was limping. This is so frustrating. I mean, I don't know, I can't get over that guy. That's fucking rude. It's really fucking rude. I don't have any stamina recovery items, regrettably. You take that fucking power tool and stick it in your head and turn it on, mate. Please, for the love of God, do the world a favour. You fuck. You actual fuck. Actually, then again, that's true. I'm thinking of Portable Third. His weak area would be over there in Portable Third. So I guess where he went would have actually been Area 1. That's probably where he went. Fucking hell. Because in Portable Third, the flooded forest does exist, but it's not flooded, actually. It's just rainy, but there are no underwater areas in Portable Third, obviously. So everything that is underwater in this game is just normal. It's just a land-based area. Are you fucking kidding me? Where are you, Nagakuga? What the fuck? Where have you gone? You are such an asshole, you know that. You're actually wasting my time. I don't know where the fuck... I don't know how your health is going. I hope you're close to death. I'd love to capture you. I think I forgot to... No, I do have a shock trap. Well... I'd love to fucking try to capture you if I could, because that would allow me to finish this hunt sometime soon. I'm not doing well for healing wares again. It's limping for you? Okay, well maybe he's basically capturable. But just in case, I'm going to hit him a little bit more. I just wish that fucking dickhead who was hosting our room wouldn't just leave while we're in the middle of a quest. I mean, the only reason why we were questing without him is because he was so fucking inconsiderate. Look at me getting comboed here. Oh my fucking god. Look at this. I don't even have a Farcaster on me. What a combo. What a fucking prick. This whole quest is a mess. I can't believe what's happening. All because this guy closes the room because we're on a quest without him. As if we're going to do anything else. Like, you think we're just going to sit there and wait for you? What a cockhead. Complete dick of a person. Part of the issue there, of course, was that I really didn't have the stamina to shield all of that. If I had the stamina to shield it, maybe it wouldn't have been a big deal, but... Yeah, I'm not going to actually use a max potion to heal my... or rather get myself up to 150 health, because... that's just unnecessary. I'm going to hopefully go for the capture fairly soon. And then that'll be taken care of. He's moved already, so thank God I went and paintballed him. Fuck this monster. And fuck this quest, honestly. I'm really disappointed with this oh, look at that. Well, guess what, my friend? It's the end of the line for you. Piece of shit. Off you go. To sleep with you. Fuck this. Ugh. But yeah, for people who have an issue with the fact that in 3 Ultimate, when the host closes the room, everyone disconnects, well, back in Try, if the host left the quest, the whole quest would be over. The quest would actually be cancelled and it would say, host has left the quest or host is disconnected. I can't remember what it says, but the host had all the power in Try to end the quest whenever they wanted. And you know, in Try, what that gave rise to was a situation where if the host maybe died twice and rage quit, that's it for everyone. The whole team isn't allowed to continue because this guy wants to rage quit. I saw it happen. It didn't happen often, but it did happen occasionally, and it's the sort of thing that sticks in your mind. It was amazing, but that's how it was in Try. So in other words, this is a big improvement, because if the host actually leaves, I believe the quest continues, but when you get back to the actual lobby area, then you get disconnected. You don't actually get disconnected during the hunt. But, so therefore maybe it wasn't actually the guy leaving the room that caused us to disconnect. It might have been something else. Because if what I just said is true, and it is, the host leaving mid-quest actually doesn't cause the quest to end, then that would mean him leaving shouldn't have affected our quest. But it is true that if the host does leave when you return to the room, you will not have a room to return to. It will just be this here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Well, I should be taken to Mocha Village, I think. Or... No, I'm here. Well, that's okay. So what I'll do is I will organize my inventory. I will, while I'm thinking of it, sell my green Nagakuga scales, of which I have too many. I need to cull that to a single stack. Don't know where it is, I think. No, that's Duramboros. Where is green Nagakuga? Is it? No. What? Where is green Nagakuga? Here it is. So I can sell those. There we go. Then we'll organize our inventory. We'll need a Farcaster as well. Oh, I'm out of trank bombs. That's interesting. Well, that's not a big deal, I guess. Yeah, that'll probably do me. I will top up my cool drinks and whetstones for good measure, and then I will save the game. You got a Naga Mantle, that's good to hear. But I think it's Naga Marrow that's really annoying to get in 3rd gen. Marrow is a fucking nightmare. So that will save my progress, there we go. And that's going to be it for this recording. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks Vernon as usual for playing, but I suppose I ended up helping you a lot as well, so it goes both ways. You've given me something to record, and I'm helping you out, so it works very well. It's a rather symbiotic relationship in that way. But again, I hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for watching. We will do this again at some point in the near future. We're going to probably do this at least once a week, maybe even more than once a week, but I love 3 Ultimate, and the more I can play it, the happier I'm going to be. So I will see you when I'm next recording, and yeah, bye-bye for now. See you.